Well, welcome everybody to the Bitty Boxing Podcast. That's right. There was no sound earlier, sorry about that. I'm still worse. Sometimes I forget about these new buttons that we get with the Rodecaster Pro. Shout out to everybody, by the way, who donated so that we could purchase these Rodecaster Pro. I really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough. Of course, unfortunately, the downside is even after a couple of months with this, I still sometimes forget to unmute the sound from the windows here. But anyway, shout out to all of you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining us on this evening version of the BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. A little bit of a post-World Cup match here. So we got the adrenaline pumping. We always get adrenaline pumping after penalty shots. I mean, I don't know who invented these penalty shots, let me tell you, but whoever did, I think they deserve a special place in hell. I think I speak for everybody. But shout out to all of you for joining us. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business side of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so with the Super Chat feature. You can also join the Patreon. We're going to be I'm working on a documentary, by the way, audio documentary, so I'm going to be posting it there as soon as I finish it. Don't forget, you can also join via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. You can also join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. But the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. Shout out to everybody for joining us here. We got Parokua. Shout out to Parokua, Sacklebulb, SJW, Skull Kid 254, Dark Hay Dog, one of the initiated, J Will. We got Rafael Garza, another one of the initiated, Morbi DC, We Fight All Night, Two Matador, Broughton Boxing, Phil Miles, Jaime Raiden, Big Smokey. Sounds like a prison name, Big Smokey. I don't know, I gotta tell you, sounds kind of intimidating. Antonio Hernandez, shout out to Sid Boxing FU. We've got, who else we got here? Phil Miles, I think I mentioned him. Well, we got more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Oh, So Passive Live, shout out to him. Frankie Science, another one of the initiated, shout out to him. And like I said, many more people hopefully to come. Guys, really appreciate you joining us. Let me just invite a couple of people here, and we've got the main topic, which is sanctioning body-related shenanigans, Teofimo Lopez versus Rolly Romero. But also want to recap real quick, if we have the time, I think we will, the Abdullah Mason fight. Because there were some kind of hijinks going on there with that one too. So we're going to talk about that. Let me just invite a couple of people here right off the bat. And then we will start well, let me actually just introduce what happened here. So we had a solid to decent card from the zone involving Abdullah Mason in the main event. And hold on a second, let me put it up on the screen here. So we ended up having Abdullah Mason stopping Albert Bell, a much tougher than anticipated Albert Bell. I spoke about Bell on Friday morning's show, and I said, well, look, he's quick, he's tall, but remains to be seen just how good he is, because he was relatively untested, especially 33 years old, kind of a long career. He hadn't really beaten anybody of note. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he was beating bums, but he wasn't beating any top 10 guys. Now, it came to light that there were some sort of allegations that people had avoided him, didn't want to fight him. Some people were saying Shakur Stevenson didn't want to fight him. So I guess now Shakur Stevenson is just avoiding everybody, I guess, according to some people. But be that as it may, Bell did end up giving Mason quite a scare. I was keeping up with what people were saying on the Discord during the fight. Some people had it 6-0 going into the 7th round for Albert Bell. Official cards, however, not quite as one-sided. I think out of the first 4 rounds, one of the judges gave the second to Mason. I think all judges gave it to Mason, which people were saying made no sense, because Bell is the one who clearly took the second round. So I don't know, I'd have to rewatch it, but I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm unsurprised that the judges they were trying to give Mason every benefit of the doubt. However, you got to give credit to Mason for picking it up, continuing to put pressure, even though he wasn't landing much of note, wasn't really breaking Bell down to the body, at least not even up until the 9th round, if memory serves me correctly. But he kept sticking to Bell, and that's what you have to do as a pressure fighter. You can't just rely on your punches. Oh, I'm going to break him down. You also have to put that mental pressure of constantly staying in front of your opponent. Now, going into the last round, Mason ended up stopping Albert Bell. The referee waved it off. A lot of people are complaining about it. We're going to talk about that. The scorecards were 106, 103 for Mason, and 2 cards of 107, 102 for Mason as well. He improves to 21-0 with 18 knockouts. Bell falls to 29-1 with only 9 knockouts, but he fought valiantly. He proved to be a tricky fighter, and could go both ways for Bell. Could be he gets more opportunities from here on out, or people keep him away from their prospects. It could work out both ways. But again, he showed up in there. The other thing about Bell, by the way, he had a long beard, longer than Jaron Ennis's beard from a couple of weeks ago. So apparently Mason's team said, "No, we are right." I don't know if they were trying to play tough, like we don't care about the beard, but maybe they should have cared because it took until the 12th round to finally break the guy down. Although I must say too, look, everyone stopped fawning over Bell. Oh, look at how well he did. Some people are even using the word exposed vis-a-vis Mason. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we just going to ignore the clinching from Albert Bell here? It just seems like every fight, man, when somebody clinches, well, even the commentators like, I think it was Sergio Mora, who for some, I don't think I have to explain why he enjoys the clinching. He was a elusive fighter who couldn't really hit that well. So I'm not surprised that he likes the clinching. Hey, whatever you got to do. Let me just read a couple of comments here real quick. I'm going to read a super chat. Big Smokey says, the truth, he broke Bell's nose and was downhill after that. Respect to Mason for taking the risk. Now I have to wonder how we would have gone against Cordina, because although Cordina doesn't seem to be as tricky as Bell, he nevertheless has that speed and power and a better dossier against top opponents. So I don't know. It would have been interesting now in hindsight to see what would have happened there. Morbi DC says that Ramos got robbed against Scooter Davis. You know what? I didn't even see that fight, but I was listening to Frank Bay's stream. Shout out to Frank Bay, and he was doing a play-by-play. And then at the end, people said, Ramos won that, but he's not gonna get the decision. And Frank was like, yeah, of course he's not gonna get it. We already know that. And then sure enough, the decision gets announced and it goes to Scooter Davis. Next Gen Combat says, for real, it could have been 6-0, but even as the A-side champion, 4-2 at best. I think it was even worse than 4-2. I think the judges had it I think they have it damn near even going into the 7th. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Jay Will says scorecards were filled out before the fight started. Shout out to Sid Boxing FU, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat. He says, what is he saying? He's saying, in my world, Bell would have been executed after fighting like a bitch. Well, there you go. Sid Boxing pulling no punches there about how he felt in regards to Bell's approach to that fight against Mason. I mean, there was a lot of clinching, man. I'm going to get to some of the panelists here. We got Bucho, we got Frank Bay. Guys, thank you for jumping on. But if I may say one more thing about that fight, Mason too, there was space for critique here, negative critique, because Bell, okay, I understand he had that shoulder roll and that counter right. But he was just tapping with that right. He wasn't really committing to it. But just the speed alone made Mason hesitant to come in. But once he would work his way in, Mason that is, he was working the body, and all Bell would do was clinch. There was a moment where Mason pressed him, and Bell did end up fighting back with a combination. And I said, ooh, okay, now I understand why Mason might be a little bit reticent to come in. But even before that, he should have been working the body. I know it's easier said than done. But again, he's 22. I suppose the flip side of the coin is he's still improving. We'll see what happens. It was a good learning experience. All that, every time we say that when a prospect struggles. But I will say this, in terms of his boxing acumen, I think he's more of a Jaron Ennis type of guy. His offense is going to be his defense, because when he tries to box, doesn't really work out all that well for him. Again, I mentioned this after the Sam Noakes fight last November. There were instances where Mason would try to box from long range, and he was getting his head snapped back with lead right hands. I'm thinking, well, isn't this guy supposed to be a world-class amateur that can control the fight long range? And he couldn't do it. So at this point in his career, kind of like Jaron Ennis, I don't see these guys being long-range punchers. And hey, I'm glad, because I don't want to be seeing fucking more long-range boxers. I want to see people with power who let their hands go. We got Bucho, we got Frank. Guys, do you want to comment on the Abdullah Mason fight?
Salute, BDA. So go ahead,
Frank
Bucho.
Well, the fight was kind of boring, in my opinion. Yeah, I would say it was kind of boring because there wasn't a lot of output. It was very low output. I like to see. I enjoy boxers who throw combinations, who actually want to put the hurt, as they say, who want to put the hurt on their opponents, and it doesn't. It didn't look
Facts.
like Mason was that type of fighter. Yeah, at the end he started to pick it up because,
He had to.
his opponent started getting tired. Was that?
He had to, is what you're saying.
Well, he had to, of course, because and I don't. I like Mason because he has shown that he likes to trade, and he has to be aggressive. But in this fight, he was very cautious in the first part of the fight. At the latter part of the fight, he started to step it up. But I would have liked to see him be more active in the first part of the fight.
Yeah, so would I. I think most
That's what
people.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
And
You're a hater, Bucho. I'm
he
sorry.
really is, man. He really is.
Yeah,
Before
that's
before
true, that's true.
before we get to Frank, I want to just read because I forgot to read what Mason said after the fight. He said, "I feel great. First thing is, I appreciate my brother Albert for getting me in there with me. Much respect to him. We had a game plan. I wanted to get him out of there to the body, but I knew I was down on the cards, and I just went upstairs, and that's how I got to him. Now, first of all, he wasn't down on the cards. I'm going to try to dig up the official scorecards any minute now, but he wasn't down on the cards. But props to him for feeling the urgency to do so. But like Bucho said, I would have liked to have seen him done so earlier. It's a minor criticism, and again, hopefully at 22 years old, Mason has learned from this experience. Curious to hear what Frank, what do you got to say about Mason?
No. Well, Bucho's being a hater. No, that's what I got called because I was on a space and I basically said what Bucho was saying too. And I got called. I didn't give him no credit. I'm a hater. He got an A+ performance,
Oh.
and I said it was a. Go ahead.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh my God, he came back and he pulled it out." I said, "Man, Bell he's not a high caliber guy like a Murataya or the top guys in the division, even a Roach or a Zepeda who are going to clash. Even though Rayo Valenzuela might have slept Mason, but I mean he pulled it off. I mean, look, he pulled it off. I said he won a close fight. It was close. And like you said, a lot of people thought Bell was really outboxing him. And I think he was a pretty big underdog, probably 5-1. But again, what I said, I think this fight for Mason, people are calling him a next, what do you call that? What do they
Next
say?
big thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, honestly, my honest opinion, I think this fight left more questions than answers. If that's
raise more questions than answers. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, he gritted it out. Like, congratulations, but there was a lot of holes and flaws that a really talented fighter could have executed.
I'm looking at the glass half full here. What I'm thinking is, look, Mason was the stoppage premature, perhaps, but he did drop him twice. So even if you give Bell the first 6, I think Mason took the next. If you're generous, he took the next 5. And then with those 2 knockdowns, I think he would have. And then on top of that, the official scorecards. I'm talking about from his point of view. Like, he didn't know what the scorecards were, but he was probably thinking, at best, I won the next 6 or next 5, and now here in the last round, I got 2 knockdowns. So he probably had that clinch. Now, the official scorecards, however, different story. I think they had Mason up by 2-3 points because they were just pretty much trying to find him, giving him any round they could find. But what the glass half full point of view here for me vis-a-vis Mason is the fact that he fought a guy in Sam Noakes who wasn't back foot bitching it. He was fighting for real. He was a strong power punching guy. He went in there. He didn't go in there thinking, "Oh, I'm up against the next big thing," and the guy, the anointed one. No, he went in there like, "I can beat this dude," and it was a very difficult fight for both guys. And so Mason showed grit in that one, and then in this one he showed grit as well, but also the ability to adjust and to take it up a notch. And so that's what I'm looking at, but as well. But I do agree with you and Bucho that, look, if you're the next big thing and you're this guy that's supposedly going to be undefeated, blah, 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 for a long time, yeah, you really shouldn't be dropping almost 6 rounds from the get-go. Against that guy, look, Bell, everyone was talking about how Bell was going to be tricky. And, like I said on Friday morning, I said, well, at best, I think he could be tricky, but I didn't expect him to give him this tough a fight. And this is a guy in Bell who, if you just look at his record, he hadn't done much. 33 years old, and he was undefeated. He only had 9 KOs.
Let me ask you some, BBA. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna turn the tables. That's what people do when they want to trip you up. Let me ask you a question. No, but BDA, I mean, let's be honest about the assessment of Bell. I mean, we always talk about eye tests. I mean, what kind of caliber fighter is he? I think he's a decent, probably gatekeeper, mid contender level fighter.
Yeah, I would say so.
And Mason struggled against his basic pillow fisted 1-2 fighter like that.
That's a good point.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying too.
I mean,
yeah.
the guy, go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying too. Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
So, yeah, I just didn't see Bell as presenting any problems for Mason. I mean, yeah, he was tricky. I think with the height and size, he'd be tricky, but I don't think he should have gave him that much of a challenge.
You know, I mean, look, it's because it's like with the Ennis thing where I don't even know if we talked about this. No, I think we did, right? About the whole thing that some people are like, don't say that Ennis never gets hit because everybody is. It's almost like some people took it too far when people criticize Ennis for getting hit a lot in that third round against Zayas. Says, look, there's no such thing as a perfect performance. There's always criticizing somebody means you can criticize them. When you give a guy props, that's criticism. Because if you're breaking it down, you're critiquing a performance. But criticism, the word criticism has the nomenclature now or the connotation of being negative. But no, it can be good and it can be bad. And thus, if you're analyzing a fighter and a fighter's performance, there's always going to be some good and some bad. Sometimes there's a little bit more good than bad. Sometimes there's a little bit more bad than good. In this one, yes.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, just in this one, there was a lot of good from Mason, but if you judge it by the standard that some people set on him, like Frank said, then yeah, he shouldn't really have been struggling against a guy like Bell. Or it could just be that, one last thing. If these guys were fighting 5 times a year, I'd be okay with one of these type of performances, but that's the problem, that when you're only fighting 2-3 times a year and you have one of these type of performances, it really does look bad, because then when's the next time we're going to see you in the ring again? We're going to have to linger now 4 or 5 months. This is going to linger like a bad fart around Mason's career. You know what I mean?
Facts. I will give my half glass full. I agree. He's must see TV, like Jerron Ennis. They're must see TV. But what I was thinking in my head, in my boxing acumen, I said, I could see Mason being like a Mosley type. I don't think he's as talented or as skilled as Mosley was, but when he was at those weight classes, but he's going to be a guy that's going to be in firefights and get beat.
Right.
But he's going to be in firefights, and he might struggle with really slick guys because you can see it, right? And I think Ennis is maybe the Roy Jones type. He's going to get slept. These guys are going to get slept. I'm telling you right now, like you were saying earlier, their fighting styles, and but we're going to want to watch them. I don't see them going undefeated at all. If they're going to fight the top competition. But I think it'll be exciting as we follow.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like some people in the chat are saying, like Jay Will says, more BDC. Vasquez is mid, but he had some pop and he dropped Mason twice. I remember when he got dropped twice, Mason that is, I said, look, De La Hoya got dropped in 2 different fights in the build-up to his career, early in his career. And then thereafter, it took him up until because he got dropped against Pernell Whitaker too in 97, but that was more of a, like they tangled, their legs got tangled. It wasn't up until the Corte fight where he really got dropped and seemingly hurt. And some people say, well, it's when he was coming up at 130, first of all, he shouldn't have been at 130. He was a weight bully down there. That's when he got dropped. And he had like these skinny legs. Then he put some weight on and then finally had more stability down there. So some people were saying, and I was saying that too with Mason's. Like he's 20, 21. I mean, come on, how much can we... But now 22, 23, he, I think they're matching him up tough too, man. That's the other thing. They're matching him up too. And Mason is one of the prospects 3.0 of this new generation where they're no longer fighting 5-6 times a year. Like now they within 10 fights, boom, that's it. We're getting you a title shot. That used to be rare. You would see it sometimes in Japan or like Fernando Vargas and David Reed. Then came along the Eastern Europeans and the Cubans from the amateur system, and these guys had so many professional fights, amateur fights. On top of that, they were already relatively old, so that's why they had to, fast pace it. But Lomachenko was special. Lomachenko, for him to win a title in what was his, and again, it wasn't a real championship in my eyes. You know how I feel about championship belts, but I mean, he beat a guy in Gary Russell Jr. who had many more fights in the professional level than he did, and he dominated that dude, despite what the scorecard says. So not everybody can do what Lomachenko did. I mean, you've seen some of these Uzbeks try it, and it doesn't work out. So that's why I fear for guys like Mason, because now we're going to start seeing, like Steve Kim's been saying for years now, these prospects, they used to fight it 5, 6, 7 times a year. Now, at best, they end up fighting 5 times in the beginning of their career. And by the time they reach their third year, they're only fighting 3 times a year, like some of these top 10 pound for pounders. That's not good, man. That's leaving a lot of room for development on the table. So we'll see what happens with him. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Frank, I didn't see the Scooter Davis fight that people were talking about. I was listening to your show. And then I saw some highlights. So was it what? Because again, robberies can come in degrees. How bad a robbery was it?
I mean, I think people were screaming robbery because you had a little Guatemalan looking dude with no physique at all, just countering this guy who looked like a middleweight linebacker. And I think when people see that, they think they want to give it to the underdog. But I mean, I don't know if it was a robbery like that, like plain robbery. I think people just wanted to see the underdog win that one. But I mean, watching the last 2 rounds, I thought he gutted it out, and he should have won. In the scorecards, I think Chris Mannix or whoever was doing it had him up. So and the fans in attendance, I mean, they were booing. Usually you don't see that, right? The brother was getting booed, by the other brothers.
Yeah,
usually you don't see that.
It's a tough crowd, man. That only really happens at Def Comedy Jam when a guy really sucks. But it is.
It's actually the Apollo. It was
the Apollo. Yeah, the Apollo. They were rough there. But I didn't see the fight, so I just wanted to get your take because I was listening to your live stream on that one.
Thank you.
Well, of course.
I'm not a very good commentator. I'm just like, he got hit.
No, but it was a good stream. I missed a lot of those fights. I didn't even see the Carrington. I saw a couple of rounds of the Carrington fight, and then I was surprised to see even some, because that's what I'm confused. So they had the DAZN telecast, and now they've got this big team, which is Sean Porter, Paulie Malignaggi, and Terrence Crawford in the upstairs, right? Like they got this. The
TNT. There's a TNT side and the zone side. Like Sergio Mora's doing his telecast, and then you have Bradley and Crawford and Porter in the.
He was okay. It wasn't Paulie Malignaggi wasn't there. I thought he was there.
No, he's still a pro box.
Oh, right. Well, what I read, again, I stopped watching the Carrington fight because he was. Then again, it's always
Canadian Wi-Fi
strikes again, man. Yes, my bad. I mean, I'm not even gonna say my bad this time. I didn't do anything this time, but
you never do.
I mean, hey, listen, it's never my fault. I'm a victim. No, but I was gonna say that we were talking about the Shushu Carrington. Yeah, I was surprised then to see that because again, I missed the fight and that the other dude, the Mexican guy, he put pressure on. But then he wouldn't throw anything. And again, okay, it's the other Carrington's freezing you with the speed. But I was surprised to see that apparently Carrington slowed down near the end, and that even Crawford and Porter were like, "Hey, man," and Bradley were like highly critical of his performance. So yeah, I'm surprised with their comments in regards to that.
Yeah, I was surprised too because all around, X. I mean, Carrington was getting trashed, and I usually don't see that. They get protected by the most skills out slick. It's a chess match. You just don't understand. But I think because it was on free TV on TNT, they really didn't have a choice. They kind of had to be honest, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Because the crowd was booing. You couldn't hide that it was some technical chess that you need to start to understand. It's like, no, the crowd was booing. You're on national TV, terrestrial TV. You kind of got to acknowledge the truth of the matter.
Yeah, that's true. Right? Like, they try this stuff with us boxing fans because they know for a long time we just took it and we didn't do anything about it. But now, though, like you said, put that to a national audience and they're going to go, what is this? Do we really want to see this crap? And it's true, like and that's the other thing. I think Carrington is sort of for the past 2-3 fights, he's been talking about how it's a pain to make 126. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's about time to wrap it up, man. But these guys, they want that Inoue payday that's about to come up to 126. So they're shrinking. They're shrinking themselves to a way that they shouldn't be in it, and it's ridiculous, man. I mean, at some point, you just gotta listen to your body and move on, man. It's over.
Well, he just got his title. He's kind of fool's gold. I mean, people were hyping him so much, but I seen the flaws in him against Sagawa. I thought he could have lost that fight. It was a draw, and then he fought a really they've been trying to showcase him. I think he was on a Netflix card. I forget which one. Was it Tyson?
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
on.
yeah. Jake Paul, one of those Jake Paul. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
It was absolutely forgettable, and it's like, and when I say these things, oh, you're a hater, you don't appreciate it. It's like, no, bro. And eventually, people see the truth, and they're like, yeah, wait a minute, this sucks. It's like, dude, I've been telling you this. Like, holy shit.
Now, I don't blame him looking bad against Segawa because the Palacios too had looked bad against Segawa on Pro Box earlier this year. So, I mean, Segawa was just one of those guys that he will give people trouble, man. I mean, he went up, he's at 20, he fights at 126. He went up to 135 against a guy in Jermaine Ortiz who should be at welterweight. And the size difference was really apparent. And he still managed to go a bunch of rounds against Jermaine Ortiz. So, Segawa was just one of those dudes. He's going to make everybody look bad. Yes.
Oh no, you're gonna need a disclaimer.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? Soften the blow a little bit.
Yo, I'm scared.
I'm scared, man. Okay, let me put up the disclaimer here. The views and opinions expressed are those of the guests and not necessarily reflect the views of the BDA boxing community. Any content or views provided by our guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group. What is the ethnic group? What the fuck? Club, organization, company. We got to fix it, which individual or anyone or anything. We can't be more specific than that. But go ahead, Frankie. What you got?
I'm Terry Seinfeld with it. I'm not going to be vulgar. No, because you mentioned Segawa, right? It was like I wouldn't call him a slick African guy, but after that fight, Top Rank start matching him with the Mayweather, what they call the green print with the flat-footed Mexican style. That's all I was saying. Is like. Huh?
You're talking about Segawa? They matched him with a bunch of flat.
No, after that, Top Rank start feeding him the flat-footed Mexican.
You're referring to Carrington. Yes, that's true. And even then, they were giving him trouble. Remember that last dude?
That's what I'm saying.
There was that dude that he hit him. Carrington said he hit me so hard I felt my back leg went numb for a couple of rounds. I'm thinking I don't know if you should be admitting that. I mean, I appreciate the candor, but get out of 126 if you're weakening yourself that much, man. I mean, no Inoue payday is worse than that. And we've already seen Inoue. Look, I don't think his power at 126 is going to... We already see it slowing down at 122. Now imagine at 126, it's not going to be as... What the hell's going on? Hey, Bucho, there's a bunch of background noise, man. Yeah.
Sorry.
I still think Inoue is going to carry his power a little bit. And so a guy like Shushu Carrington, who might not be accustomed to that, he better watch out, man. That's all I'm saying. Let me read a couple of comments here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out.
Hit the like.
Hold on a second. So, Sergeant Apollo says Carrington got dropped, almost KO in the last round, but won. Was it that bad in his fight against Payaso? He almost got knocked out.
Yeah.
I saw.
Well, I mean, he was grabbing his rib pretty badly. Like you could see, he was hurt for at least 2 rounds.
Because I did see a slow motion replay where he got hit to the body and then he immediately lowered the elbow, but I didn't know it was that bad. My goodness. Broughton Boxing says Carrington looked very beatable. Eparokua says, true that. Frank. Technique says, another shushu, another hype job. Joe says, how do we get on the panel? Well, we're gonna be doing an open lines very, very soon, which means open lines means everybody can jump on. But for the moment, we're just keeping it tight and concise here. Gotta keep it tight. I like it tight, let me tell you. I don't accept anything else than tight. More BDC says, Top Rank is building up Carrington for Inoue if he moves up. The Turk Solozzo says, Bob Arum paid them to boo. Okay. Yeah, he's saying that's Shakur Stevenson excuse.
Yeah.
ESPN, they paid them to boo. Phil Miles says, Inoue is going to have to jump to hit Espinosa. Yeah, that's a big one right there. Phil Miles said, that's my dream matchup. If Inoue goes to 126, Espinosa versus Inoue. Well, shout out to everybody out there, man. Hit the like. Really helps us out. One more thing I wanted to bring up here about that event and Abdullah Mason, because I really liked... Well, okay. Well, let me show you what Abdullah Mason said first. And for some reason, he doesn't want to go there. Hold on a second. Hopefully it plays here. I've been having trouble playing Twitter videos when I'm not on the account. Yeah. See, it doesn't let you play Twitter videos now unless you're logged in. What the hell's going on? Anyway, I'm gonna play you the audio here. Mason's surrounded by his brothers. They all have the same haircut, by the way. And this is what he had to say about his relationship with Albert Bell, that's the name of a serial killer, by the way, Albert Bell. Anyway, here we go.
I mean, trust me, if it was anybody else, that fight would have been over in 8, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen a lot of shots that I hated the thought of him replaying the fight and seeing him getting cracked by those shots just because, how much love. we got for him, but
Gotta work.
So he said that he felt bad for Bell. If it would have been anybody else, he would have ended the fight sooner, but he didn't really want to hurt him. And I'm thinking, well, is that why you went all out in the last round trying to put this guy on his ass? I mean, look, I like when Mason said there's no such thing as brothers in boxing. Because they asked him once, is there anybody you wouldn't fight? And he said, as long as they're not blood related, anybody can get it. I like that. Now he's sort of backtracking a little bit, saying, yeah, there's a point to that. Like, I don't want to hurt these guys. I mean, on the one hand, he did fight his friend, so he put that to rest. But on the other hand, now he's saying, well, I didn't want to hurt him. To me, it sounds like he's trying to make up kind of a little bit of an excuse as to why he struggled with Albert Bell. What do you guys think?
Yeah, of course. At least he is admitting that he didn't perform as expected.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Somebody could say, "Oh no, I did what I had to do. I stopped the guy. I did this." Yeah, but he still knows that he didn't impress, and he was supposed to impress, and he could have done more. That's he's admitting to that.
Well, when you say impress, you're talking about dominating the fight and not struggling so much in the first 6 rounds.
Well, the first part of the fight was boring. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could look at just the result and go like, "Well, I'm satisfied with this," but like, we are watching a fight. Mm-hmm. We gotta tell the people what we saw, and it wasn't. It was like I'm gonna use Wilder as an example. A lot of people used to tell me, "Well, how come you don't complain about Golovkin? Sorry, how come you complain about Wilder when he's doing the same thing as Golovkin?" I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but yeah, if you look at that result, yeah, you'll see Wilder by knockout. You'll see the result Golovkin by knockout. But if you look at the fucking fight, Wilder isn't doing shit. He's boring as hell. He's getting outboxed, and then he gets one lucky punch, one of his punches, and he knocks a tomato can, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, he gets a knockout. Golovkin, you don't see him getting outboxed. You didn't see him getting outboxed. You didn't see him struggling or anything. He was dominating throughout the whole fucking fight, landing jabs, landing straight rights, hooks, and then he would stop his opponent.
Right.
So those Golovkin fights were exciting, and when you look at the Wilder fights, nothing happened. It was boring, and then he got a knockout. So again, we shouldn't just look at the result. We have to look at what happened in the fight. And when it comes to Mason, the first part of the fight, in my opinion, was not very exciting. And Mason he's a talented boxer, so he can do much more. Mm-hmm. But he just didn't do it. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, again, I think the size, the height from Bell had something to do. And you could tell that Bell, I mean, I hate to use that term, but the eye test. And then you could take a look at that he has skills. And even if you looked at some of his fights beforehand, you saw, okay, this guy's got something going. But like you and Frank said, that's why sometimes you got to gauge, you got to be your own judge when it comes to the hype. Because the way they were painting out Mason to be was that he was going to be this unstoppable force. And so far, they've already matched him tough, and he hasn't looked that way. Again, I'm just criticizing him from that standpoint, but I like what I'm seeing from Mason. He's dug deep. That's something that you can teach. And technique you can refine for the most part. So we'll see what happens with him from here on out.
Oh,
yes.
On that thing, what Mason said, on X, people will post these long stories, and people will post, things that never happened. And that's what I'm thinking when I hear Mason, things that never happened. It reminds me of a cousin when we used to go out to the clubs, and he would get shot down, and he would always tell me, "Oh, I could have banged her. I just didn't want to." Like, okay, bro. And that's what it sounds like to me. I mean,
he should have called you. He should have called you. He should have gotten inebriated and called you. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting so much pussy. What are you guys doing? It's Saturday night. You guys don't get any pussy. What do you get? I was in the military. I was training dogs. I was training cats and rats. But
I used to do PA when I used to get turned down by girls. I used to tell my friends, I could have had her, just didn't want
exactly.
it.
That's right.
I just didn't want it.
Is, yeah.
Now, you know what?
Like
Reckon is from the old school, so they used to tell him, "I got a man." Remember, like that song there from Positive K. Anyway,
got to do by
what's that got to do with me?
You're talking about Adrian Broner's father, right?
That's right, Adrian Broner's doppelganger, or how do you pronounce that word? Doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
That look-alike.
He looked exactly like Adrian Broner before Adrian Broner. I'm just saying.
Before the liver diseases and all that he's got, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's Adrian Broner right there. I don't know if you guys can. Am I sharing the screen? Yeah, that's Adrian Broner right there.
Yeah, that song's very grapey, BBA.
It's very urban.
All right,
And
let's get into the rumors, man.
but
Let's
hold
get
on, hold
into
on. And
the
by the way, this
spiciness.
dude, real quick, this dude, then
Fuck Mason.
they ended up coming up with another song that sounded very similar. Like they tried to recreate it. And I was like, nah, man, come on, try to do something new, man. But anyway, what was I gonna say here? Okay, so yeah, Bucho wants us to move on. But actually, one more thing about this. This is news and rumors, Bucho. So there, some people are saying in the chat, hey, what about just put what's his name, Mason in there against Murataya? And I'm thinking, yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure they could do that. However, Murataya is already going to be fighting or as Gypsy calls him, Muratata. Murataya is going to be. Murataya is going to be fighting Conceição, by the way. That's right, Conceição. They just keep giving him fights. And look, he always sort of shows up, Conceição. He's a strong guy.
Man?
I don't know.
What the fuck is that face?
I don't think that's fake, man. But no, yeah, it is
I'm
fake.
not even interested in that fight. Are you interested in that fight?
Is he fighting?
Murataya is fighting Conceição.
Conceição?
I mean, okay, whatever. I
he's
watch it
boring,
for. I watch it for Muratalia. You know,
Of course, man. Yeah, but Murataya is sorry, Conceição is boring. He's moving up in weight, I guess, right? So I'm not interested in that. It's we should get. It should be Mason against Murataya against Shakur, maybe, because Shakur's talking about moving back down in weight. Murataya, Tank Davis. This is not an exciting fight, but whatever.
For Mason, I think the best fight, but it's going to be the politics. The really best fight would be El Royo Valenzuela versus Mason. I think that would be a good fight.
Rayo Valenzuela versus Mason. I mean, hey, that would be a firefight right there, man. And Rayo has been improving. That would be a very tough fight. But Rayo's with Zuffa now, right? So
that's what I'm saying. And the dark horse, this name I've been hearing is Alan Chavez. Do you guys remember that guy? I think he's some Argentinian guy. He knocked out on some card Maduro, the guy that was being body slammed by Keyshawn Davis.
Alan Chavez. Yeah. He fought recently. Yes. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah, he's 25 years old. Yeah.
He's in the rankings. I think he's number 2. He's on the heels of Mason, and I think that would be a barn burner.
Yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name right there from Frank Bay. Let me tell you.
In the chat, Jamie Raiden says Cepeda would also be a good test for Mason. Yeah,
I think that actually but
Cepeda's already fighting Roach, right? So.
Right.
Yeah, and then the winner's gonna face Murataya. That's why Murataya is getting that layup.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Now, the other thing I wanted to say, sticking to this whole brother issue of, the brothers they don't want to fight each other. Greg Hackett went online and he said, Greg Hackett, by the way, is a, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a pug, tough pug. Don't just judge him by his record, but he's become a bit of a sensation on the social media sphere because of his comments. And he came out on Twitter and said, Mason versus Bell proved you can fight and still be brothers afterwards. 100%. So Shakur Stevenson caught on to this. He goes, y'all be lame. So a 33-year-old and a 21-year-old is brothers? Definition of caught up in the hype. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Yes, I've known people who are...
Wait, what?
I've known people who have brethren who are 10, 11, 12 years older than them. Now, it's not an ideal thing because there's that bond that's lacking there of not having grown up together. But nevertheless, yeah, you can be a brother. So what does a 10, 12-year gap have to do? I mean, again, Stevenson's whole argument is not that we grew up together or that we're blood people related. It's that we went to the trenches together. So maybe, what's his name? Bell and Mason did the same thing. They went to the trenches together, just at different times in their lives, but at the same time. You know what I mean? But in distinct different times in both of their lives. So I don't know if Stevenson was really taking it to heart. I'm pretty sure he's hearing this over and over again. And he should deliver what the people want, man. Him versus Keyshawn, but no.
Is he criticizing is he criticizing Mason's performance indirectly?
Who, Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah.
I think so. Probably. I didn't
really... You know what I mean? Because he's, Mason's trying to maybe make up an excuse. Mm-hmm. Like, well, but then Shakur comes in and he destroys that narrative. He's like, you're not brothers. You just underperformed. You didn't perform as you were expected.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so Shakur said that. The guy that won't fight, Keyshawn?
But they're the same age, so they could be brothers, basically. That's what he's saying. Under his criteria, they could technically be brothers. Because I guess they're close to the same age.
Shakur he's scared. He's a scary motherfucker. I almost said it, but you know what? He's a scary MF.
And when you say he's scary,
How
you're
can he be scared? How can he be scared?
He's scared. He's scared of losing. And that's what he's afraid of. He's afraid of losing a fight.
yeah.
But somebody's gonna say, how can he reach this point in his career by being scared?
Easy.
Right?
Easy. You just pick the guys you want to fight and you fight in a certain way. You don't ever take a risk. You know, you play it safe. Fight not to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deserves some. That deserves some.
So what's his next? So what's his next move then? Like, what would be
I'll
his
be
next
honest.
move?
Can I be perfectly honest? I don't care about Shakur. He does nothing about a fight of his that makes me say, "Oh man, I can't wait." The only fights I'm interested in is a guy that could bludgeon him. Basically, I'm not saying he has to win the fight, but a guy that I'm like, yeah, this guy could probably take him out. You know, that's it. Other than that, you know, until he puts in a gritty performance, well, I'm like, this dude is actually putting in some work. He's really trying out there. I'm not interested in him at all.
You know what? That's why we Jerron N is now coming in. They've Eddie Hearn probably needed to change his pants after that Ennis performance because he's thinking finally after trying to get Tevin Farmer, Demetrius Andrade, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, he finally got himself a guy an Afro Anglo who can actually fight, not just box, but who can actually fight. He's got the type of fighter in his stable that can scintillate and perhaps even, I dare say, transcend the sport. You never know. And so now, with that being said, now all these YouTube personalities, social media personalities, so whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever, they're the ones. There's a lot of those people that depend on interviews, so they gotta glaze up Shakur Stevenson and all these guys because they want those interviews. Now maybe they're gonna start migrating more towards Ennis, and they might start becoming a little bit more honest with Shakur Stevenson because hey, we might not just have to depend on him as much for those exclusive.
Well, there's people defending Shakur. There's always going to be people defending Shakur. I mean, I think somebody's saying in the chat, I think they're talking to recognize you don't understand boxing. They're saying.
Whatever. I don't care what you would like some little fan saying, I don't understand boxing. I've probably been watching boxing way longer than he has. Okay, so whatever. My point is this. He is already having fans defect from him and going to Boots, right? The reason why is because Boots is an exciting fighter. So when Boots got hurt in his fight against Xander Zayas, he wasn't afraid. It actually made him bite down a little bit hard on his mouthpiece and deliver these killer shots that ended up neutralizing what was done to him.
Mm-hmm.
This boy, Shakur Stevenson, cannot do that. He's too afraid to ever let that happen, right? So we know that there's a good chance that if that happened to him, he's just going to freeze up. When you're too afraid of something happening, and when it does happen, you freeze up. That's what happens.
Well, somebody already posted a video once. It was Tank Davis having like a play sparring session with somebody in the streets, and they were comparing that to Shakur Stevenson doing the same in another situation, another scenario. And Shakur Stevenson was just trying to make the guy miss, whereas Tank Davis was instinctually making the guy miss, and then he threw a punch. So that's the basic difference there. One guy's hardwired to just defense. The other guy can actually counter, trying to hurt his opponent. And
it's easy to explain to people, right? Especially the guy that says, I don't know boxing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know, let's say if that was true, I do understand how the human body works, right? Because I'm a human being. So when a man freezes and all he does is make you throw punches and you miss and he doesn't throw anything, that's a sign of a guy who can only do one thing. He's too afraid to do two things at the same time, right? So that tells you right there, even in playing or throw a little flip jab there, maybe a 1-2 here and there.
Yeah, I mean,
in the chat we have.
Go ahead.
Chat just quickly. Beat Scowl says the last 3 fights. I think he's been in the pocket. You're wrong. He's talking about Shakur Stevenson. He's been in the pocket.
I mean, against Teofimo Lopez, he wasn't.
Is he delivering damage? Is he delivering damage, or he's just tapping his way out?
No, but okay. But first of all, he wasn't in the pocket against Teofimo Lopez. I don't think this guy understands what the pocket means. Another
Right.
another guy goes. Another.
Top show in the chat says it's the sweet science. Y'all just don't understand.
Well, there you go. That we don't understand. We're talking. I mean,
I wouldn't. I don't want to hear this dude talking about he's a Boots fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear this guy talking about he's a Boots fan and saying the reason why he likes Boots is because he's exciting, right? I don't want to hear that shit. He got power. Because what does Boots do? He stays in the pocket. Stays right there. He gets hit a little bit, but his faster, harder punches is what he's betting on.
Right. No, you know what? I used to hear. Nobody wants to watch. Not nobody, but I don't like to watch rock and sock'em robots. You know those robots. I don't like to watch. That's not. And then now they're praising Boots Ennis, but he literally got into a rock and sock'em robot type of fight. Right? He did. So are you gonna complain about that? Are you gonna complain about Boots Ennis getting into that type of fight? No. Everybody's saying it was a great performance and that Boots Ennis showed heart. So. These guys are.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Let's plant our flag down, okay? They're the fighters of the sweet science, hit and not get hit. Don't cheer for Boots. I don't ever want to hear you guys cheering for Boots. Now, a person like myself who advocates for fighting in the fight, using your defense,
right?
And let's see what real boxing skills is made of, right? I can cheer for Boots. You guys cannot. You can't cheer for Boots. You guys are for the Shakur Stevensons. Stay in your lane. That's your lane.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, they criticize that type of fights that we like to watch. They basically they said that those type of fights were just brawls, were rock and sock'em robot type of fights. No technique, no skills. These people claim that they like to watch skillful fights, hit and not get hit. But now they're praising Boots Ennis, and that was a rock and sock'em type of fucking fight.
Okay,
so,
but can I say something? Can I just press the reset button? Because all I said was this whole thing started because all I said was that this Twitter personalities, social media personalities on Twitter and YouTube and all that, these people that do interviews with boxers, were going to start migrating a little bit more away from Shakur Stevenson, who the establishment was trying to push as a next star, and now they're going to be moving to Ennis. Because Ennis is a guy who has more of a chance via his exciting style to transcend the sport. And therefore, because of that, they're not going to be as afraid of criticizing Shakur Stevenson, which they were afraid of doing for a while. I mean, think about that. Shakur Stevenson blew weight against Conceição back in 2022, hit him in the balls a bunch of times. You didn't really hear, I mean, you still hear about Canelo's tainted meat thing or certain people quitting up until now, but nobody really talks about that whole Shakur Stevenson thing. They've really tried to push that under the carpet. So that's what I was trying to talk about. I was just talking about a distinct thing here. It's a different subject. I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson isn't good defensively. I'm not saying he's not a good boxer because, yes, it's true. Boxing is about getting hit and not getting hit. About hitting and not getting hit. But the point I was trying to make is that Jaron Ennis now might be getting more of a push from the American machine, the establishment, rather than Shakur Stevenson because contrary to what people believe, Mayweather was an aberration. A defensively minded fighter like Mayweather, it usually doesn't happen in the boxing world that a guy like that becomes the face of boxing. And, in the 90s, for example, you had Pernell Whitaker and Chavez and Terry Norris, too, vying for the crown, for the pound-for-pound crown. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a draw. He never was. You had to match him in against another guy like a Deloya, Chavez, Trinidad to really do good numbers. Other than that, nobody really cared about him. And that's the thing. These guys, ever since the Mayweather era, people like Eddie Hearn have been trying to push some of these Afro-Anglo fighters who can't crack and who don't want to deliver good fights. Oh, no, we got to push them. It's not going to work. I mean, it could work, but it's very difficult. And that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying Shakur Stevenson is a bad fighter. All I'm saying is most people want to see entertaining fights, not rock and sock'em robots necessarily. Just a guy like Jaron Ennis who lets his hands go. So, but for some reason, that really upsets people.
All right, BD, I think we should move on. It's been almost 52 minutes.
Okay.
We've been talking about this.
No. Well, I mean, we got sidetracked. We got sidetracked with this. I didn't even bring it up, man. So I don't.
No, I know we got sidetracked. Okay, but I think Sobers wants to say something. Go ahead, Sobers.
I just want to say Stevenson is, a generational talent. We're not going to see another like him. He has a smile that'll light up a room.
That's right.
You
And
know,
a voice too.
he has an aura in the ring that has to be respected. No, but that's how these guys talk about him, right? They act like he's some kind of killer, and he fights like a little bitch, right? And these dudes act like they love that style. It's the sweet science. You can't appreciate real boxing. You want rock'em sock'em robots, yada yada yada, right? But when there's a guy like Boots who actually has a style to come forward, will give a punch, take a punch, leaves himself kind of open, vulnerable, right? An action fighter. You know, but he comes in with the nipple tassels and shit. That style that they like. All of a sudden, these not rock, he's not rock'em sock'em robots. He's a brave warrior that'll get in there. He'll give a punch and take a punch. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, this style is not bad. This style is very, very good. All of a sudden, when he's flat-footed coming forward, has a hard time cutting guys off. He's not a flat-footed American bum.
All of a sudden,
he's a warrior who wants to make a fight.
He's a warrior, the heart.
All of a sudden, everybody gets hit. All of a sudden, that's the argument.
It's part of boxing, right? Who doesn't get hit? Who doesn't get rocked, right? Who doesn't get caught in between punches with their chin in the air? Who doesn't?
Exactly, yeah. All right, listen, we got to move on from this. I don't even know why we got sidetracked in this. I blame Bucho for this because he's the one that starts. Bucho, I'm going to blame you, man. You're the guy that loves to go at it with people, man. You got to stop and go, hey, yeah, let me throw a couple. You're the guy that gets off the freeway to get into fights with people. That's Bucho, by the way.
Yeah, I pull out a crossbow.
Do you remember that fucking? Yeah. The thing that I wanted to talk about here is this, and I know some people are going to say, oh, here's BDA again with the fucking champion going against the sanctioning bodies, but it is what it is. Somebody's got to do it. The news came out about, I think it was 2 days ago, that Teofimo Lopez, check this out, is moving up to welterweight, taking on former friend Rolando Rolly Romero. It's going to be taking place. It's going to be taking place at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. It's going to be a joint DAZN Amazon/PPC pay-per-view, August the 22nd. First of all, before we get into the whole specifics of the fight, the style matchup, and the whole controversy about the sanctioning bodies, pay-per-view?
Look.
Yeah.
It is what it is with the pay-per-view thing, right? Like, I don't like it. But let's talk about these two dudes, right?
Sure.
They're actually friends. Right?
Uh-oh.
This video that date back, when they were probably teenagers. Okay? So they're actually friends. But what are they doing as friends? Yo, you want to get paid? Yeah, I want to get paid. Let's make a fight with each other so we can both get paid. Okay? And, no hard feelings. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be personal. It's just sportsmanship. Okay? Let's see who can win.
No, right? Yeah. You could even make the analogy with YouTube, right? Like, say you got two people that have big channels, and like, oh, hey, I get a lot of views, you get a lot of views. Let's have a debate, and it'll be beneficial for both guys, regardless of the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Like, why not?
Look.
Are you that scared of looking wrong or losing something?
On this channel, we debate each other all the time. Sometimes I go to Stober streams. We get along. Everybody gets along, and every once in a while, we'll fight.
Sometimes someone jumps in and throws a grenade in the middle of the room. Right?
Yeah. We go at each other, but we still. Again, it's still friendship. It's still like, let's continue this conversation. There's nothing, it was a debate. It's over. These dudes, what they're telling you is that boxing is the sport. It's not personal. What people that don't fight each other are telling you, what they're basically saying is that we take this stuff personal. So we don't want to fight each other because it's personal. And it's not about the sport.
Right.
That's what I've been saying for a while now too. That there's a reason why Shakur Stevenson is very adroit about not fighting certain people, and I've maintained that for a while now. And yeah, it's true. So now apparently somebody posted a video on the Discord of Romero and Teofimo Lopez sparring, and apparently it was Lopez who leaked it 2 years ago. The videos from 2 years ago, and apparently he had so this mini rivalry the friendship has been dissolving for the past couple of years, at least according to certain sources. I don't understand. I was under the impression that these guys were friends. I still remember that there was a video of Lopez and Rolly Romero at some sort of birthday party. I think one of them had a birthday party, and it was kind of weird because I think it was Romero's birthday party, and they had that. They were serving cake and ice cream, and the cake looked like the type of cake you would serve to a little kid. You know,
It was ice cream cake, right?
yeah, one of the with the weird call.
And then it had Spider-Man on it, but like not the little kid Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Friends of the little chibi big head characters.
And they even had
he had the birthday boy little hat on.
And I think they even had like the tablecloth for like the kids, with the colors and the balloons on it. And I'm putting it up on the screen.
They put a handkerchief in his shirt. His mom had to tuck it in his shirt so he wouldn't make a mess. Because he got them big ass heavy lips. He can't chew right. So
and then I think they brought in a clown. I think you saw there was another video. I think they deleted the clown came in and Rolly got scared and he ran to his mom like Then they finally they had to drive the guy away. Like they still paid him, but they had to send him away. But anyway, that was the thing that they were at a birthday party together and all of a sudden they're fighting. So I don't know if some of this so-called rivalry that they have now is somewhat manufactured, but recognize this point still stands. These guys have history. One of them could be nervous and say, oh shit, we've sparred together, we've trained together, we know each other's weak points and strong points. I wouldn't take a risk against that guy. They're saying, nah, there's money to be made. They're offering us the fight. Let's make a little money. What's wrong with that? I mean, some people like to do that. They take risks, and you get people who do it the other way. So yeah, but my point is too, though, I want to go back to that pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, please, man. I mean, we already have, I don't know if people know this, but Zoo versus Spence is PBC, the Zone pay-per-view too. It's the Zone pay-per-view and Amazon Prime pay-per-view too. How is that pay-per-view? And it's insanity. It's insane to me.
Well, Spence is a big name, right?
No, he's not.
Is a big name.
He hasn't fought since 2023. The last time we saw him, he was drunk. I got more information on that, by the way. Just vindicating what Dr. 805 said more and more as the years pass. But no, he's not a big name, Bucho. Come on. I mean, he's maybe on YTBC. I'm telling you, on Fight Week, people are going to wake up. The Spence fanatics are going to wake up and they're going to go, yeah. He's done it before. He's come back after a layoff and he didn't miss a beat. I'm thinking, man, all right, we'll see. But right now...
BDA, wait till these fanboys get a look at his dreads. Did you see when he posted photos of his dreads?
No.
His hair got a little bit longer and they're like, he's back. He's a savage now. He's on dreadhead time. They're going crazy because he had little twisty. He had the little shit locks. I don't know. I guess this is a different Spence. He's on Demon Time now. So
Harry's power, right?
Well, 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years out.
No, these people are crazy.
2 years out of the ring.
Samson kind of deal.
2 years out of the ring, he might have been. All these guys, they're on something. So he's probably been cycling on some good stuff to try to get back himself on.
BDA, what do you think about the Spence fight? Like his comeback, he hasn't fought in 3 years.
I loved it. I love it.
Okay, yeah, but that's still
why. Is that because you think he's gonna get destroyed or what?
No, it's because Sobers wants to see a good fight. That's all. He just wants to see if a young old lion can come back.
He wants to see him get fucked up. I think that's why he's celebrating.
No. Come on, guys. Come on. You're talking to me here. Come on.
You're talking to him all wrong.
Errol Spence, he's been. You're talking to my boy all wrong here. We're talking about Tim Tszyu here. You're referencing my boy all wrong here. Tim Tszyu been done dirty by the PBC since whenever he started doing business with them. I swear, brother, I could almost hear them promising in this fight with Keith Thurman, to the point where Keith Thurman was having fights in Australia, almost setting it up. And then they do the Guatemalan snatch away, and they make him fight Bandura 2 times. And then he runs into the buzzsaw that is, what's his name? Bektemir, what's his name? What's his second name?
Murtazalia.
Right. Before anybody knew who that was, he jumped on that buzzsaw. And he basically sacrificed himself for all the divisions to see who that guy was. And he also was in talks to fight Errol Spence before, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like the PBC has been jerking this dude's chain left and right, all wrong, like promising him fights and making him fight Terrell Goucher in the Armory in the middle of fucking like Idaho or some shit.
Yeah.
What the hell was he doing there? Like, they've mismanaged him ever since he left Australia to the United States. And yeah, I feel like this is a good fight. He was promised. He deserves this fight. And even for Errol Spence, if he's anything that these guys say he was, like the way they was talking about him before that Terrence Crawford fight, if he's anything like that, you know what I'm saying? If he's anything like that, that guy, you know what I'm saying? But if he was ever that guy they say he was, he should have something in there enough to maybe challenge this dude who's not a very big junior middleweight. And he himself, people look at him like he's at a crossroads in his career. So people like, that's what I'm saying. That's how much they disregard Tim Tszyu. They're like, people are acting like, oh, this is a crossroads for both of them. You know, loser retires.
How much they praise or the expectations of Spence are really high, right? Because these guys are.
That's what I'm saying. So if he's anything near the guy that he's supposed to be, he should be just fine. And when Tim Tszyu hits him with 15 uppercuts like he did to his homeboy in Australia, and the flames of hell are licking up from the sides of the ring, I don't want to hear no, oh, he's washed up, oh, the car accident. I don't want to hear that shit again, right? When he's uppercutting his teeth, the bottom of his jaw into his skull, I don't want to hear
because some of these people actually thought, and I remember seeing these comments that when you know there were these rumors about Spence fighting Ortiz. A lot of people were picking Spence. Some
That's
people
what I'm saying.
Like, they were up. Saying. Yeah, they like, you know, this guy. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-year layoff. Like that guy's he's so talented. It's not gonna matter that much.
Spence, baby.
It's Spence.
This is the truth.
Wait a minute. I don't get this. Muhammad Amhar Bruce Lee in the chat says I have $6,300 on Tszyu as a decent underdog. I'm confused. Tszyu's the underdog in this fight?
That's what I'm saying, BDA. They're disregarding Tim Tszyu. This is a great fight for him.
That can't be.
You see how you guys were like saying, ha, 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 I never always want to see him get killed. I want to see Tim Tszyu get his shot. Yeah. That's what I want.
Is it crazy to believe that Tszyu is the underdog based on his previous performances?
Yeah, of course it's fucking crazy. Let's go. Let's look at what's his name's last performance. Tim Tszyu got a knockout in his last fight.
Yeah, but I think a damn near 3-year layoff is way too much. A 3-year layoff is way too much. I can't believe the bookies aren't taking that into account. But then there's also the other flip side to the coin. Is obviously first of all, like Sober said, they did the Guatemala snatch away on Tszyu, something awful. They don't care about this guy, and the PBC stands to gain more from Spence than from Tszyu, because Tszyu is not even a full-on PBC guy. He's just using that platform to fight some other guys. But the PBC would want Errol Spence to win. I mean, look at, like Bucho and Silvers were saying, they still got fanatics. They're saying, oh yeah, he can come back and beat Ortiz. Like, well, based off of what? So they really want this guy to win. So it wouldn't surprise me at best if they have confidence in Spence that he can maybe make it close, and then they give Spence a decision over Tszyu.
Apparently, he's a slight favorite. Spence is a slight favorite, like not even a 2-1.
That's almost insane, a 2-1. Man. That is absolutely
But still, insane. That's like, somebody said plus 180. That's almost 2. So, that's fucking stupid.
I mean, hey, I guess we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be an interesting fight, that's for sure. I think the most curious aspect of all of this is to see how Spence looks. That's going to be interesting. And I do wonder who's going to be training him as well. The other thing I wanted to mention
is that a real photo? Jeez.
Yeah, that was real, man. Yeah, that was real. Right there. It's a real horror show, man. I actually wanted to dress up like that in Halloween one time, but then I would have been called racist because I would have had to do some things, color-wise. But anyway, the point is this, that we have the Teofimo Lopez Romero fight, and again, I have to get into a little bit of I know people are going to get tired of this, but it is what it is. How is Rolly Romero a champion in the welterweight division in the first place? This dude has not defended his championship, so-called championship, since he won it from Ryan Garcia. Neither guy had fought a top contender at welterweight. All of a sudden, they fight in the Celio Wolves card in the first quarter of 2025. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give you a belt for it. And then when Boots vacated, that's when they made apparently Romero the full-on champion, because he wasn't still a full-on champ back then. So it's idiocy that Romero has had 3 belts. Apparently, I double-checked. Yeah, at that lightweight, he only had the interim or something like that. Then they gifted him a belt against Old Man Barroso. Remember that? They need to give him a gift stoppage to give him that belt.
Oh, man. He was in the middle of almost getting stopped. Like, he was getting rocked. He was losing these exchanges. The referee separates him. Looks like he's saving Rolly. Then he's calling off the fight. That was one of the craziest, most blatant things I've ever seen in boxing.
Tony Weeks and some of these boxing referees, they put FIFA refs to shame, man, with their blatant corruption and incompetence. And so, if Teofimo Lopez wins, he's going to be considered a 3-division champion. Even though none of these guys earned a shot at this so-called championship belt. That's why, see, when people tell me Ortiz never fought a champion or this guy was a 2-time champion, I don't care, man. Those belts mean nothing to me. Nothing.
Absolutely incredible, BDA.
Absolutely halal is what I'm saying.
Listen, I don't think that performance from his last performance, Teofimo Lopez's last performance,
more like haram,
was complete garbage. Right? Lopez looked like shit against Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, you like just don't have a good look. These phony belts are haram, brother.
They're
They are.
kosher.
You don't have a good buckle for your. You don't have a
They're
good
kosher.
buckle for your belt.
Well, I guess I knew
That's what it is.
Gypsy just came in. I know he was gonna bring up that the kosher thing and all that. I know where Gypsy's going.
I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I'm
What are you
he.
eating right now, Gypsy? Some hummus? Guess what?
You
I don't
sound
eat hummus, bro.
Bread.
I can't stand hummus. I don't like it. I don't like fucking hummus.
Yeah, and some people in the chat are asking, "Oh, but belts don't matter." How does a belt matter? If the whole concept of a belt is you have to work your way up to earn it. That way, you prove yourself that you've earned the shot, and then if you beat the guy, that means you definitely earned it because you beat the guy. Nowadays, they gift you. Oh, you move up to a division. Yeah, you're the champion. Why not? So how like Ryan Garcia is a champion? Would you call him a champion just because he's got a belt around his waist? Like I'm telling you, some of these fans, I can tell. Some of these fans,
champion?
some of these fans, I can tell they just started watching boxing a couple of years ago. They don't understand the concept of sanctioning bodies.
Well,
they don't understand how corrupt they are, and the fact that the ratings can be manipulated. That dilutes the worth of the belt because if you don't have to earn it anymore, anybody can get it. Then it's not worth that much anymore. But some of these people they love because I think they come from other sports too, basketball, NFL. So they love talking about championships and statistics and all that. This is boxing; it doesn't work that way. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. Somebody wants to say something?
You're just mad that Argentina won today. That's all.
A lot of people are mad.
I was saying that. We know Ryan Garcia is not that great, but he is probably one of the better fighters at 147 now. And for the belts, they matter in the sense for the fighters that they add prestige and they also mean a bigger check guaranteed.
Mhm.
They can ask for more. So, I know you and Bucho don't like the belts, but I do think it's cool when the fighter they're fighting when it's a unification bout. I do think it needs more. It looks better, and when they're right there standing with all the belts, I think that shit looks cool.
No, yeah, listen, I've never denied that.
I know what you mean though. I know what you mean though when it's like they're diminishing the value when they're just passing them out. Like that you said shit with Rolly and Barroso. That was like disgusting.
Exactly. Yeah, I've never denied that belts. I've never denied that belts are worth something to the fighter and to the managers and promoters because they use that as PR tactics, the marketing to sell the fights. But what I'm arguing is, like you said, it's the worth of the belt. Just because you have a belt around your waist doesn't mean you're a champion and one of the best. Take a look at Mario Barrios, for example. Take a look at Mario Barrios. He had a WBC belt. He was ranked number 10 by Ring Magazine in an already weak welterweight division. What does that tell you about what a belt does to how difficult it is?
He's badass, man.
Maybe people have a point because if belts don't matter, then why are we complaining that he's fighting Rolly Romero? Because in our eyes, Rolly Romero doesn't even he's not a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not a champion.
We shouldn't be complaining about him fighting Rolly Romero. Now, my problem is that I don't think Teofimo Lopez should be getting a big fight at this point.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he deserves a big fight. I don't think he deserves a big fight.
Hold on. Let Butcher finish.
He just lost one fight. Come on.
Hold on. Let Butcher finish.
No, okay, but I know Food thinks that Teofimo Lopez won the fight, but still, I mean, I think we can agree, Food, that performance wasn't.
No, I said he just lost. I'm just saying he just lost one fight. He's going to fight a contender,
yeah, but this
glorified contender.
This is the same thing we complain about. I complain about Mario Barrios. He's failing up. How do you lose a title and then you go up and weight and now you're getting a title shot? It's like you're being rewarded.
I missed that. What's happening with Barrios? What happened with Barrios?
He was supposed to move up from 140, and then he stuck around for Davis to knock him out, right?
Yeah. I think he moved up and got a title shot, right?
If you're famous, it doesn't matter, man. You could lose 15 times. If you have a lot of fans, it doesn't change anything. I mean, this is what it is. I think I think Tio has probably got a somewhat of a fan base. He feels like this is gonna sell with Roll It. And
it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. The press conference is gonna sell. I'm interested too. I'm just saying because I'm very disappointed in Teofimo Lopez's performance. But you know what? Now thinking about it, this shit, Teofimo Lopez is actually fighting a welterweight, moving up in weight. Now remember, Teofimo Lopez was fighting at 135 at some point. He's not scared of moving up to welterweight. The guy who's scared to move up to welterweight is fucking Shakur Stevenson.
Oh,
because he could have gotten that. He could have fought Rolly Romero. He's even afraid of Rolly Romero.
Yeah,
and you could say that because why couldn't you get a fight done with Rolly Romero?
Just say it. He's a bitch. That's what you want to say.
Hold on. Let me put the censor button.
Shakur Stevenson could have gotten a fight with Rolly Romero. But no, it's still Teofimo Lopez who got the fight. Teofimo Lopez has bigger balls than Shakur Stevenson.
Bigger balls.
Yeah, BDA, you need to get a better buckle.
I've heard about that. I heard he said it. He said it from his own. He said it. Remember, he said it to Shakur.
Buckles.
He said it's like a foot. Remember, he said that at the press event.
Oh yeah. He was pretty animated in that one. But Gypsy, I couldn't. You were talking.
People are saying we're hating on Shakur now.
I know you don't like belts, but you need to you need to like them because you'd have to have like a big old buckle, right? You know, between your waist.
I do have. First of all, thank you for bringing that up. I do have a big belt buckle. It shields my massive genitalia, and I got like this Texas because I love Texas, so I got this Texas vanity thing there where it's a big star and it's got a bull on it, and I mean it just represents everything about my.
It's at the base at all times.
That's right. Got to protect that base. Let me tell you.
It's tight.
Keep it tight.
You got to.
Whenever you need a belt to ask to do it to somebody, you have it ready. You got the belt, it's right there.
There you go.
It's a tight belt. It's right around that area.
There you go.
You got to feel that pain all day. You got to feel the pain.
Hey,
Shakur's a bitch, man. I'm sorry, man. Teofimo Lopez moving up in weight. This guy's Shakur's still not even sure who he's gonna fight. He doesn't want to move up to welterweight. He claims he's too small.
Yeah.
He wants to fight Oshaki Foster, a 130-pounder.
A little guy.
By the way, okay, so yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say in regards to the Teofimo Lopez thing. I mean, again, pay-per-view, and that's the other thing. Well, I'm gonna get to that later, but no, actually, I don't have it here. Rick Glacier do I have it? Rick Glacier was complaining to people like, hey, well, if you don't like it and you want to be cheap, he was insinuating that people who don't pay for the zone thing or who are complaining about the price are being cheap, and a lot of people jumped him and saying, look, $250 for the zone was okay, and they've been raising the price for years now. By the way, every year they raise it. Now they doubled it, so you could get the ultimate whatever, and they're putting on a bunch of fights that shouldn't be pay-per-view. That's the argument there. That's the point of contention. The fact that you've got fights like Zoo versus Spence and Lopez versus Romero on pay-per-view, none of these guys are big sellers. I mean, like Bucho said, once they do the press conference, okay, it's going to be a little exciting, blah, 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 but it's not going to be, if you put on pay-per-view, used to be reserved for fights that were going to be transcending the sport or could do over 500,000 pay-per-view buys, or at least 300,000. Some of these fights don't even do that. Tank Davis has it. Every time they release his numbers, it was sources say. Why? Because they couldn't allow Showtime or the PBC to do it directly because they would have to lie. Think about that. They never officially released the numbers. Even for the Ryan Garcia fight, some people are still clinging to that number of 1.2 million. They never officially reported that. That was all hearsay. That was all sources say. So what I'm saying that imagine if Tank Davis, who is a bigger seller than Romero and Teofimo Lopez,
what if Jedi Goodman said it, BDA?
That's right, Jedi Goodman.
Those numbers.
Chewbacca said it too, and I'm thinking, okay, then if Chewbacca said it, I could believe it, and Jedi Goodman, but
right.
Han Solo, but look, the point is,
it depends on what the council says, right? The council of Jedi.
The council. What I'm trying to say is that it's ridiculous to put Teofimo Lopez and Romero on pay-per-view. It's ridiculous to put Zua versus Spence on pay-per-view. Aitama versus Hrgovic, that's pay-per-view too. I mean, I understand in the UK, but here...
Oh, my God.
So what I'm saying is, I was talking with that about people on Discord. I was thinking, hey, maybe some people are right. Maybe now it's morally justified to watch these fights on these other websites. You know what I mean? Like on the radio, as Steve Kim would say.
What do you mean?
Give me a link, bro.
On the hotbox?
Throw me a link, bro. That's what he's calling it now, Steve Kim. Throw me a link, bro.
Throw me a link.
Hey, by the way, I wanted to say something here real quick. I'm a little disappointed because we're going to have some boxing this Saturday, and it was supposed to be Garcia versus Tony Yoka, and then the Yoka got injured. That's not what I'm sad about, because I was happy because they ended up saying, okay, Joey Jones was going to fight on the undercard, and then once Yoka got injured, they said, let's put Gassiev in there against against Gassiev against Joyce. And I said, whoa, that's a much better fight. Now, for some reason, they pulled the plug on that one, too. Now it's Joey Joyce is going to be fighting some other dude, I think an African. And Gassiev is going to be fighting some Russian dude, or vice versa. Something. No, yeah, I think Gassiev is fighting an African. I think Joyce is fighting someone else. And I'm thinking, man, that kind of sucks.
They'll probably cancel that last minute as well. And they'll just fight the guy that sells hot dogs in the crowd.
By the way, Joey Joyce is 40. He's looking rough, man. I think all those flush shots that he was able to take early in his career that he was just walking through, now they're finally, look at that. He's got...
The Juggernaut?
The Juggernaut is starting to look like the Jogger old. I don't know. I'm trying to work that in there. But look at it. His hair is graying. He looks haggard a little bit. He's got bags under his eyes. Guys, what's going on here?
It looks like a potato.
I think they stopped training. I really do. I've seen fighters. They really stopped training.
You don't think it has
They
something
don't
to do with all those
flush
flush shots that he was taking from Dubois?
Well, that too, but they don't train like they do when they were in their 20s. You know, I think they train maybe
his skin
every other day.
flawless.
Yeah, Food's the skin expert because he stays up watching all this late night. What do they call it? These advertisements like the new cream, get it now for only $5.95. And you know, so he watches all of that. So you're saying he's got good skin?
He has bags under his eyes, that's for sure. His hair got a little nappier, but his skin's pretty good. It's decent. I mean, for a boxer, he looks
puffy and bloated, like he's been drinking. What are you talking about?
He looks like a cat.
No. I was on board when you said it about Conor Ben. Now I disagree now.
Cat-like reflexes, dude.
Everyone looks like a cat.
He looks like Nappy Garfield.
All right, come on. What the fuck?
He looks like alcoholic. You know, just came off a bender. Garfield. Puffy face.
Oh, come on. That guy looking. He's fit.
So, BDA, when we brought up Mario Barros and Teofimo at the same time, it made me notice something. This little pattern, right? When I just said it, failing up, and you already know I have a conspiratorial mind.
Go ahead.
And there was already fishy stuff around that fight with Gervonta Davis and Mario Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. We knew that Mario Barrios had a secret rehydration clause that we didn't know about till years later. He was supposed to move up after his fight with the Russian dude that he really lost. He kind of got a gift draw against him, and he's like, "Oh, I need to go up and wait." But they paid him extra to stay and fight Davis, right? Just for the clout for him to say, "Oh, he got a belt at 140 against a dude that's like 5'11", way taller than him." And then he gets knocked out. He goes up a weight class. So he gets a gift decision, then he gets knocked out, and then he goes up a weight class. He gets a fight against Keith Thurman. He gets a title shot. Gets beat up. He loses every round except the one round where he hurts Keith Thurman to the body. Right? He loses that fight. What happened? He get another title shot.
Mm-hmm.
This guy just consistently fails up. And my mind says, okay, you were told like, hey, do this as favor with Gervonta Davis. Give us that clout. He needs to fight in Azteca. You know what I'm saying? Get this little tattoo. We're going to give you a tattoo, and you're going to get it on your neck, okay? And, you know, you're going to come in. This is your persona now. Throw that punk skater shit out the door, and now you're El Azteca. You're going to even wear a little skirt.
Well, you know what?
You know that we own you.
You know what? That you're right. There are people, particularly in Hollywood and other places, they let themselves, they have a price. Like how much to spread to spread them. And they're like,
exactly.
Well, so.
And Mario Barrios, you know, he received a stinky pinky. I'll just put it like that. And then now we got Teofimo Lopez over here, where he's documented in different interviews saying first, a couple years ago, I would never fight Shakur Stevenson. You know who he works with. I would mess up Jay Prince's money. I love my family. I would never do that. I would never put them in danger. I think so. He's aware of who he's associated with, and he's aware of the danger that comes with this guy. Okay, fast forward a couple years later. Now they're fighting. Right before the last press conference, right before the fight, Teofimo has this weird little speech. Oh, you know, Jay Prince, come on, man. You know where my family's at. You know where my girl works. You know where my kids sleep. You know where I sleep. You know everything about me. We had dinner last night and we talked about it. And he's like, yeah, I do. I know all of that. And he was like, yeah, you know, and he just threw that out there for no reason. Right? And then he goes out there and he has a piss poor performance against Shakur Stevenson. They ask him afterwards, hey, man, what was that? And he goes, hey, man, it was good versus evil, and I'm just not bowing down to evil. So it's like, it's just weird. And now he's going up in weight, and you're failing. Now this motherfucker himself is failing up, BDA. Mm-hmm. Now you go up in weight, and now you're fighting Ricardo Romero for a belt.
I forgot about that nickname. You're absolutely right. That's a great, excellent breakdown there. And by the way, I was talking about this on Friday about the because now we don't need to get into this because it's really just useless drama. But Tank Davis and Haney were going at it on Friday, talking about, well, we sent the negotiations, blah blah blah. We sent the paperwork. The offer, and the Haney's didn't want to take the 70-30 offer, blah blah blah. James Prince was talking about the Haney situation, and he said something along the lines of, well, if he doesn't give Keyshawn Davis his mandatory shot, I already got Shakur Stevenson ready. We got him cornered. I got the double barrel shotgun, he said. And when I read that, I said, whoa, that's interesting. I mean, obviously, he's referring to I got him cornered, but it could be read a different way. The fact that he's using handgun, firearm nomenclature coming from that type of guy. It's interesting. People like to complain about Kinahan. Kinahan this, Kinahan that. How can he be involved in the sport? What about this dude, James Prince, with all these boxes? And there's always allegations, whether they might be true or not. But like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's an excellent breakdown from Never Sobers right there as it pertains to that.
This is why I love this show. I'll be honest, you won't hear this anywhere else, for better or worse. But I dig it. I like the outside the box thinking. You won't hear this on any other boxing show. I'm telling you right now. 100%.
Well, that's this. I give the credit to you guys. You bring out different point of views here, and you ask different questions. Like you said, you ask. Again, nobody's saying, well, this is how it is. We're just saying, why is it? Why does it appear this way? And food for thought. As manager Marty likes to say.
I'm thinking that Kinahan is not small hat enough.
Okay, I knew he was gonna have to take it there. No, but as it pertains to Barrios too, by the way, some of these people that sell their souls or whatever, they end up having breakdowns. Like Britney Spears, remember her? Chopping her hair off.
Martin Lawrence,
running naked in the highway.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you hit a bitch that many times. Hit me one more time.
What happened to Ellen Page?
That's right, chopping the tits off and becoming so what I'm saying is,
and stretching out that clit so it's a dick.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, come on! No, but I was gonna.
I'm eating popcorn. The fuck, man.
Butcher was eating a Parmesan sandwich when he heard that. But this is what I wanted to. Sergeant sent me this. I think I already played this, but yeah, I think Barrios is having a breakdown himself because of all the things he had to do to fail upward. Check this out.
Waiting for you, bitch! Come on!
That actually looks like that actually sounds and looks like the guy that was on here trashing you. You trash.
The lot lizard, booty loose.
No, I think he's talking about the guy who
trash, dude. Your new panel's trash.
Oh,
but I love Recognize.
Oh no, he's a little. We've seen him. He got brave. He got brave. He got brave. We've seen him. He's a little chunky. He's a little chunky boy.
It looks like that guy right now.
Might have been on the same thing. So it might have been on the same substance though. This guy and
bath salts.
Maybe, man. Maybe something cheap. Something cheap.
Something cheaper.
Something cheap and
triple chin. Mr. Triple Chin DSLs himself.
Oh. Now,
tranny right there, walking around.
Saint Fedor in the chat is letting me know because we were talking about Tim Tszyu earlier and Errol Spence. He put this. I can't access it with my computer right now, but I'm on my secondary device here, and he's saying, "Yeah, I was." He says, "I wasn't bullshitting about the Rimzu." He calls him Rimzu price. Although I don't know what this book is doing. I moved the line down a lot a while back. That they were when they were the only book with the line. They keep moving it back, and I bet whatever I can when they do open at around plus 170. So plus 170 means he's the underdog. Tszyu, that is slide underdog. It's tight. Yes.
I was thinking of something. Sobers comes with these theories, but I'm asking Sobers. You think it's so you're saying boxing is like the rap game too now? Because that's what they say about the rap game.
Well, you don't see this crossover. Al Heyman is a music
But that's what I was thinking because Earl's
even Jay Prince dabbles in that.
See, boom, nailing it.
So it's not so much is do you see the connection?
Mm-hmm. I see it.
Now I do because I was thinking I'm like, we saying boxing's the new rap game, and you're right, there is a crossover.
And by the way, sorry, real quick, we're back, and somebody was saying in the chat, low key in the chat, shout out to low key, says, I remember this video about the guy we're claiming is Mario Barrios. He says it's in the LA area or Orange County, and then Remy Rose, shout out to him, says, funny, but someone took that dude's skateboard and backpack. Well, there you go. That confirms it. That's Mario Barrios because isn't he a skater too?
Facts. Yeah,
he is.
By the way,
a skater.
That was before PBC. That's before PBC made him get that neck tattoo.
By the way, P.S. to someone get a message to Mario Barrios. Aztecs didn't skateboard. All right, they didn't skateboard. They didn't listen to Blink 182. So cut that out, man. All right, you want to be a real Aztec, a real Aztec warrior, bitch. Well, the other thing I wanted to bring up.
You better skin somebody.
Oh, jeez. I wanted to say this about Joe Joyce. One last thing. I've forgotten about how many trainers he's gone through. He had this to say. I went and did a kind of a trial with people to see what it was like. I really like my new trainer. You'll see something different on Fight Night. Who's he with now? He's with Gervonta Sugar Hill, former trainer or still current trainer, I believe, of Tyson Fury. These are just some of the names that Joyce has gone through as trainers: Abel Sanchez, Adam Booth, Ismael Salas, and now Gervonta Sugar Hill. So.
No one's gonna fix that stiff object, bro. He's such a stiff object. He's got to fix himself.
Oh.
In order for that to happen, no coach is gonna be able to fix himself. He's got to fucking understand how to increase his fucking motor reflexes to react and block, for crying out loud, bro. That motherfucker don't block for shit. He just takes it as it is. He thinks that's boxing. Oh, that's a fucking head. Let me get some. Boom, right in the face.
Well, he likes getting head, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
No, but isn't it interesting, Gypsy, that there was a time there where Gypsy, where Joyce was considered the dark horse of the division, that he was gonna be. Some people even said, "Well, yeah, juggernaut, unstoppable. It's gonna take somebody." And then
that was precise. That was precise, spreading the rumors around.
It wasn't just precise. It was a bunch of people, and that's what I'm saying is that type of style, though. And again, it's not like I saw it coming, but that type of style. It just wears on a guy. It wears on fighters. So
yeah. If you're talking about a guy that you can take the punches of, but if you're talking about a guy that you can't take the punches for, which I thought Daniel Dubois was one of them, but apparently Daniel hadn't really grown into his man strength when he fought Joe Joyce. He can't handle that shit, bro. You can't be taking.
What was like Dumb and Dumber fighting, right?
Yeah, it's like you can't be taking shots from Wilder like that, for instance. Like, you'd be fucking done. Or AJ, you'd be done. Even fucking Fury at one point was cracking. I don't know what happened to his power, but, maybe off the juice or whatever. But when he was cracking, he was breaking skulls. He broke fucking Wilder's skull. No one's done that yet.
It really is amazing. It really is amazing that...
Yeah.
Sorry, because you're breaking up a little bit, but it really is amazing. It really is amazing that Joyce managed to get a silver medal. He managed to medal silver at the Olympics. Just goes to show you that, I mean, if you know how to pressure and you're willing to take shots and get your head snapped back and forth, yeah, you can get a silver medal, but it's not a style tailored for longevity. That's all I'm saying. Darky doing the chat says Joyce watched too many Rocky movies. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Speaking of Rocky and underdog stories, one of the ultimate underdogs, Showbiz the Adult. I know sometimes some of us have poked fun at his style and the way he conducts interviews, the fake laughter. But I've said it before. This dude, he likes to bring the energy. He tries to stay positive. He's not one of those dudes that goes back and forth with other YouTubers. He tries to stay above that and away from that. But there's a lot of people out there on Twitter that for some reason they hate him for other reasons though. Or they, if at least if you're gonna, it's not my thing, it's not my cup of tea, fine. But they take it. Some people take it farther than that as it pertains to Showbiz. For example, he had this to say. He said he posted on Instagram, I believe, or Twitter. Tank Davis may interview with Showbiz the Adult is closer than you think. All right, so I don't quite understand the way he wrote that, but he was essentially saying that there was a potential Tank Davis interview in the works. And then he put up some sort of a poll saying, we want Tank on Black Two Sugars, which is his The Zone show segment he has, or we don't want Tank on your Showbiz. And then somebody posted, no, he's not, ostrich face. Ostrich face ass. And then I said, well, what are they referring to? Well, apparently Gervonta Tank Davis posted.
That's hilarious.
Apparently Gervonta Tank Davis on Instagram posted, no, the fuck I'm not, meaning I'm not going there. And then people were laughing. And then look at the comments here. NB fan base fuck with dude. I don't know what that means.
Nobody.
Okay, shout out to Sobers who's all down there in Georgia. He knows the lingo. Nobody fan base fuck with dude. Elma, nah, for real, gang. Then somebody goes, Showbiz, the most annoying 40-year-old ever. Suck boxer's dick 24/7 and gets nothing out of it. Somebody says, never will you get an interview with Tank. We told him about you a long time ago, hating ass. We told him about you. The hell does that mean? They're going.
He listens to me. He's in Tank's ear.
Yeah, exactly.
They're close associates.
By the way, Tank Davis is notorious for going after his own fans on Twitter. Like there's people that have said, "Hey, champ, I'm wishing you luck. Hopefully you come back." And he goes, "Shut the fuck up." And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, the guy's giving you props. So it's
he said, "You're the best, man. I can't wait to see you fight." And he'll just post like the cock, the dick rider, the cock rider.
Yeah, somebody will be like, "Hey, I really enjoy watching you, Tank. You're an inspiration to me as an amateur boxer." Shut the fuck up. He's like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, simp.
You're the best to ever do it. He's like, what do you mean by that?
I don't know what Tank Davis went through in his life. Pretty tough upbringing. So maybe he's just paranoid about people. Maybe he got, I don't know, maybe somebody.
I'm telling you, you look like John Leguizamo.
Oh, I don't know. He didn't do nothing when P. Diddy picked him off the ground.
Oh, that's true. That's true, man.
And grabbed him by the butt cheeks. Squeezed him.
Yep. I mean, look, if he could do that, who knows what else he did, right?
Right.
And he told him in his ear, he was like, bro, not here.
Yeah, but I don't understand the hate against showbiz. I understand if you want to dislike his style, blah, 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 but they have to make it about, now we told this guy about you. What the thing?
What do you mean, eyeballs? You're talking about eyeballs?
Because he's not playing the game. Because showbiz is not playing the game. They expect something else from showbiz.
What?
They expect a certain
look, there's still that.
And he's not giving it to them.
There's still that militant part of the, I guess, the boxing group where they still want the LDBC to be a thing, and you need to be basically on code. It needs to be, racial. It needs to be like racial politics. You need to be riding with us and whoop-de-woo, and not being with Usyk or
Goofy,
Roger Ortiz, any non-black fighters, right? So when they see that, you're only supposed to kiss black fighters' ass. So when they see him going off code, they're like, oh, you're not really one of us or whatever. But that shit, a lot of that shit died. A lot of that shit died with Deontay Wilder and Devin Haney. When those fools got their asses whooped, a lot of that shit died.
Actually, it's coming back though. Yeah.
HS in the chat says, I feel bad for the business. No, I don't feel bad because I don't think the guy cares. I think he's above that. Again, I reiterated, the guy, you don't get as big as that guy when you stop and take every little thing people say about you seriously. So
he's all right.
Yeah, I think he's got a thick skin, and I don't think he gives a shit what some people on the internet think about him. So shout out to Showbiz for.
He does respond.
You know what he did? You know what he did when he seen that comment? He unscrewed his eye bolt. He took him out.
Jesus.
Not a better look. Put him in the little moisture pack. He got the other pair and screwed in his new eye bulbs. And he's went about his day.
I imagine that scene in Terminator when he's taking his eyeball out.
Basically.
In the mirror, in front of a mirror.
Yeah, he's looking in the mirror. There's the hollowed out hole, and you just see that red eye in there.
And when the light
clearly looked like it's a puppet or some shit.
He was a puppet, yeah. And when the landlord comes in, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing in there?" And he goes, "What does he say? Like, get the fuck out of here!"
Fuck off, asshole.
Yeah, fuck.
He does that. Yeah. Showbiz sounds like that when my funny he switches over. Shut up, awkward.
That's exactly. That's what he did right there. When he read the comment, he was like,
"Are you guys saying Showbiz is a machine?"
A little focal went out.
The Showbiz laugh.
You had to change it.
I think he fused with the machine, so he's both. He's a cyborg.
One day, he's a cyborg.
One day,
not a robot, cyborg.
One day we might all have to merge with machines, and that's the way that some people want it. They want us absolutely to merge with machines. But that's a subject. That's a subject for another show, but for another type of show. But I was gonna say this too. Don't forget to hit the like. Really helps us out. And
hit the like, you fuckers.
I wanted to bring this up to you guys. A couple of weeks ago, there was a revelation, alleged audio of Al Heyman and what's his name, Leonard Ellerby, saying that they wanted to put Floyd's little ass to the ground. Well, now you gotta watch out because these recordings, man, I'm telling you, they come out and they come out loose and they come out fast. And Jerron Ennis now has finally captivated the boxing world's attention, and now people are talking about a potential Virgil Ortiz fight. Ortiz is allegedly coming back. He allegedly renegotiated a 3-fight deal with the Golden Boy, so things are starting to patch up. But again, he had to go to Golden Boy, bended knee, hat in hand, and who knows what he had to do. So this is an exclusive audio somebody posted. I think it was, I don't know if it was Glacier or somebody else. Again, you got to watch out now because everything gets recorded. This was Ortiz sort of complaining a little bit about the new deal, asking for a little bit more money, even though he's in no position to do so. And this is what the lawyer told him. This is the official audio here.
The dick is up your ass. And I am the one, not you, who decides when and if it comes out.
I
mean, I gotta tell you,
I fucking knew it. Sorry.
I mean, that's
I
De
knew
La Hoya. He's laying the law down now,
What,
saying
what is that?
that's De La Hoya, man. That's De La Hoya telling Ortiz.
De La Hoya, wow.
That's him telling him.
And then he throws the fishnets at him. Like, put this on.
you think De La Hoya's still messing with you?
So are you saying it's not all hard work? It's not all hard work that gets you to the top.
Well, you get to you get to the top. You have to plant your keister on the top of something else, if you know what I mean. If you want to get to the,
it's definitely hard. It's not soft.
Exactly. There you go.
He put on that song from American Pie, Flagpole Sitter. He's like, you know the name of the song?
Yeah, the Flagpole Sitter. Yeah.
Paranoid, I'm paranoid. Everybody's telling me.
Yeah. He has Virgil Ortiz. Do you know the name of the song?
See, people think you're joking.
Oh yeah. I know. Everyone thinks I'd be like, I'm not serious. Hey, bro,
you guys think it's a joke?
Yeah.
What
songs?
They're not at the Versace temple, but they're at the De La Hoya estate. You know, the villa.
No, but I was just saying,
and you know when he's there. You know when he's there. The only thing he wears is his robe. That's it.
He wears his golden thong.
Sobers, didn't you tell me you heard? Sobers, didn't you tell me you heard from a good source that the villa is soundproof? Like they got soundproof walls in that villa, so that no sounds. Wow.
They can't hear you scream.
Oh man.
Top to bottom.
And you leave your cell phone at the gate.
Yeah, you have to put it in the bed.
Oscar running at you with a chainsaw.
No, I heard he has this thing that target, like, you know, this maybe it targets like other unidentified electronic devices.
And by the way, I have it on good authority that if you go to De La Hoya's villa, you'll meet all sorts of celebrities, including such luminaries such as Palm Beach Pete. He shows up there to those parties, so you know what that means. You know what?
You're a David Lynch fan, right, BDA? You're a David Lynch fan, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. A lot of his movies were like that, where they showed all these things, but in a weird subliminal, sublime way.
Mm-hmm.
What's that character, that creepy guy that always appears with the paint?
Palm Beach, De La Hoya.
You're talking about Palm Beach, De La Hoya. You're talking about what's the guy named the actor who got accused of murdering his wife later on?
That's him. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, it looked like him.
Name,
you're talking about
the guy that was on a show named Beretta.
Yes, Beretta. He used to be a child actor in the Little Rascals.
Did he kill her with a Beretta?
You're talking Robert Blake. That was the guy's name.
Robert Blake, yeah.
Okay.
He passed away, but he was on Joe Rogan at some point. Look at that.
There it is. That's the picture you see in De La Hoya's villa.
No, that's
creepy.
That's
BDA.
You know what movie I remember from? I remember him from Money Train.
Money
Train.
Oh,
with Jennifer Lopez.
Was his Snipes?
Oh yeah.
Snipes.
Yeah. That's what I remember that guy from. He was the villain.
What were you gonna say, Bucho? To get people involved, what?
Yeah, I know. Somebody in the chat, Remy, a membership, BDA membership. How do you call him? I don't know. Member. He says, Remy says, are the Benavides Zurdo pay-per-views really 90,000K?
I mean, who knows, man? That's a good question. But the PBC, like we were saying earlier, they never release the numbers themselves, so they always do it through an intermediary. Like Dan Rayfield at some point was a go-to guy. Like, sources say that they did 300,000. So you always
Yoda. Yeah. We'll have Yoda do a tweet about the numbers.
Yeah, you would have. Well, okay.
So David better go and work with Zuffa, man. He got to fight that. What's his name again? For his fucking name, the guy over there.
You know what's crazy too about that 90,000? You know those are inflated numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So they're inflating the numbers with Gervonta Davis when they're saying 200K. So we know where they're inflating them when they say 90K.
You think he's going to take that Zuffa money? You got to go fight that Opataya. They're not getting him the money.
Why not? I mean,
I ain't gonna go there, man. Go get it.
If he wants to save that wedding.
They're trying to line him up with a bum, with a fight that's going to make even less than his previous fight.
Want to save that wedding, boy? Better get to work.
But by the way,
they're trying to lower his value. I think that's what they're doing. They're gonna say, "Oh, look, it's like, dude, you're pairing him with bums, with nobody."
But that's a good point. That's a good question from Remy about the views, because I mean. Benavides talking about, I want to be a Vegas fighter and there's better fights out there. I don't want to fight Opetaya, but okay, you're not selling exactly. I mean, again, he took a good step forward by demolishing Zurdo. That they replayed that all over the place. So now more people than before know who he is. However,
do you think he's going to get a residency? He's like going to go on after Carrot Top.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, does he think he's gonna be there every other week fighting? No, man. You gotta strike while the iron is hot. Interestingly enough, when he fought in 2025, when did he fight? He fought Morel in the beginning of the year. He didn't fight again up until November, and that was on a non-PBC card. That was on a Riyadh season card. So if it wasn't for the Sheik, it's unlikely that Benavidez would have fought more than twice that year. And you wonder if he's gonna fight again this year without Turkey's assistance. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. He's so yet another guy getting wasted away by Al Heyman.
Unfortunately,
he just throws these guys' careers in the garbage.
No, I bring this up about Benavidez all the time, though. In his bones, he's a PBC fighter, and they move a certain way. It's this once a year fighting type of thing. It's what can make me the most money with the least risk, and just how much juice can I squeeze out of this every single time?
I mean, the risk
regardless of how it makes them look.
He took a calculated risk against Ramirez. But I give him credit for that. But he's not to the point where he wants to take a risk against Opetaya, and that's what's rubbing a lot of us the wrong way. That's what's rubbing a lot of us the wrong way. And I like to be rubbed the right way. All right. Now I wanted to say this too. I mentioned the fact that Virgil Ortiz had to prostrate himself, not prostate, prostrate himself.
Prostitute. That they said prostitute.
No. Well, maybe, I don't know, but to De La Hoya to save his career. He put himself
Come here.
Because
I'm a warrior.
Because he put himself in that position in the first place. So it's hard to be a fighter. It's hard to be a promoter. There's always conflict. It's hard. But I've maintained it's harder to be a trainer because you never know when you're going to get thrown to the side. However, this story between Charlo and former trainer Derrick James is getting interesting because Derrick James a couple of weeks ago or something, or somebody said that Derrick James wasn't paying attention to Errol Spence in the build-up to the Crawford fight, which prompted a lot of people asking, biggest fight at welterweight, and these guys weren't taking it seriously. What's going on? So Jermell Charlo, this is something that he said weeks ago. Remember this? We played this, so I'm just going to show you the what he said initially about Derrick James, and in the build-up to the Canelo fight. And then I'm going to play you Derrick James's
A-level performance, worst performance of my life. I give myself an A+.
It wasn't the best performance. It was a B performance. Definitely a B+ performance. I got to give myself an A.
B+. Got to give myself a really bad, worst performance of my career. Probably A+.
So here's Jermell Charlo talking about that.
How much training camp do you think I had with Derrick James? But then whenever he with this big ego and everybody got to listen to him because he the main coach. No, nigga, it don't work like that. You better shut the fuck up. I've been training my ass off with this dude that came from New York. He sleep in my house. We wake up, eat breakfast and cook and train. And then when you come to town, you don't even speak to him or even check on and see how I'm training. What's messed up about it? I went through that during that Canelo time. Together. You don't even check in, nothing. You don't even know what's going on.
You got to check in, man.
Hardly even see you during the fight week.
That was Jermell Charlo. Give me your response. That was a lot. Give me your response.
Well, this is what I'm going to start out with saying that I'm 54 years old. I'm not staying in the house with you and your woman. As a man, I should never be staying in the house with you, your woman, and your kids. And that's why I stopped staying. When he got into a relationship, because years before I would stay with him, right? But when he got a woman,
he's jealous.
Kid living in the house.
He say, "What? You got a woman in there now?" I thought it was just me and you. I thought we were gonna have some. Get to spoon you anymore.
You lied.
You said you were gonna have some quality time together.
You lied to me. He walks in the room 3 a.m. He's like, I had a bad dream.
Okay, that makes no sense, man. Come on.
Laying in bed with you, Charlo. Get him out of here.
He busts into the room like Ben Kingsley in Sexy Beast. He just jumps on the bed, starts kicking him.
And that's why
you don't love me anymore. You traded me in.
And that's why I stopped staying when he got into a relationship. Because years before I would stay with him, right? But when he got a woman, his kid living in the house, I'm not staying in the house.
He got a woman.
So I started.
It just wasn't the same.
Hotel. That's what you have to understand. I pay for my own hotel. I fly myself in town. I have my own per diem. So for a training camp like that, I probably spend about $25,000 to $30,000 out of my own pocket. Wow. So because you gotta think about this. For that camp, I was in Houston for 7 weeks.
How much training?
Okay, so that's Derrick James's version right there, and then Charlo ended up replying to that retort. Here's what Jermell Charlo had to say. He said, let me put it up on the screen here for you fellas. He said, I have an apartment attached to my house, which we call the casita. That's a little house for those of you who don't speak Spanish. So he would throw Derrick James into, he wanted to throw Derrick James into that casita. I also got enough cars for everyone in camp. Plus, I got proof from me reimbursing him for all the hotel expenses and rental cars out of love.
Uh-oh.
So he says he's got a compound with La Casita and a bunch of cars, a bunch of vehicles, bulletproof vehicles. I'm just adding all of that to make it more exciting. So that's his version. So a lot of people started saying later on Twitter, it's like, Derrick James sounds little bit like a bit of a, not a crook, but a guy you can't really trust because he's got beef with Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, Frank Martin left him. Guys, what do you think? If you had to weigh in on what little we know about this, what do you think about Derrick James and Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence, that whole situation?
It's not cuddling anymore.
To be dishonest about saying that, I spent X amount of money out of pocket, knowing that the guy reimbursed you, and then try to use that in an argument that says, a lot about his character right there. And it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to lie about, especially when, you can get called out on it.
So, okay, so you're thinking you're more on the side of Derrick James.
No, bro. I'm saying, why would you try to use this as an argument saying, I don't think it's a big deal that he don't stay around. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't understand why Charlo would give a fuck. Yeah, he doesn't need to tuck you in at night, bro. If he shows up to train you, whatever. But it's a lot to say that, I spent X amount of money in my pocket and, you're getting reimbursed for that. Why would you even bring that up? Yeah,
because that's a good point. Because then some other people were saying, Derrick James, there's something fishy about the guy because we heard that after Errol Spence got his ass kicked by Crawford, that Derrick James left immediately to train Joshua, because remember, he was training Joshua and Ryan Garcia at the time. He should have checked in. He never checked in on Errol Spence. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I think people have
about all that.
Yeah, I think people have a warped view of what a trainer-fighter relationship is. They're not supposed to be friends. The trainer's not supposed to, it works if they're friendly, obviously. I'm not saying that there has to be an antagonistic relationship, kind of like Rudy Hernandez and his brother Chicanito had, where there was a little bit of a...
No, see, but this is weird, BDA, because, that's your bitch's job. Where's your wife at?
Exactly.
He's running a gym. He can't go on, go travel and stay in a hotel and all that and then neglect what he's doing, right?
It's a business. He's getting paid by Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua to train them. So does he have to show up at the hospital and stay by Spence's bedside for 2 days or however long he was there, getting a checkup or something? It makes no sense. He's got to go train.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Well, he just wants to feel like special. That's what it seems like. Charlo, he's like a head case. He's like, why don't you stay with me anymore?
Yeah, but then
wasn't it Charlo who was complaining about Derrick James not allowing dogs and stuff like that?
Yeah, that was.
Imagine having to live with that psychopath.
Yeah, it's like he insists on bringing his dogs. Like, you can leave the dog with somebody else, man. Like, you have a bunch of money, just hire a fucking dog nanny, whatever the fuck that's called.
Emotional support dog.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, and they have the emotional
dog in the grocery store with the dogs or some shit. The fuck out of here.
Have I shown you the guys about the...
He's in the pads. He's in the pads. The dog's biting his sparring partners.
Giving them rabies. He's giving them rabies. He doesn't even...
Leave my dog alone, no, they're friendly. They're friendly dog. They're friendly. They're friendly. They're friendly.
On everybody's gym gear on their gloves.
Have I
shown... He thinks
you
were attacking me, bro. That's why he bit you.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I kind of side with James a little.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I've seen it. A lot of these fighters are assholes. You'd be surprised. A lot, they'll bring their crew to the gym, and that's probably what he's thinking. Like, I don't want to hang with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm here to just run maybe he just wants to, he doesn't want to be around all that shit, whatever these guys, you can imagine. Earl, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Oh no, okay, yeah, I think James just he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit. I've heard trainers say that, like, these guys, they start getting big egos and start bringing girls. Were you saying that, B-Day? Like, they start bringing girls around, and a trainer, he can either be like, hey, nah, get the fuck out of the gym. Like, I don't want this shit. Start smoking weed in this gym and bringing pets.
No, but I was about to say, who do you guys think has the bigger ego, the trainer or the fighter? I'm gonna go with the fighter. I mean, it could be. I mean, there could be some cases where I guess the trainer thinks he has a big ego, but it's most logically it's gonna be the fighter who has the big ego, right? He's winning, he's making all this money, so they're gonna get this inflated ego.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've heard both versions now from both sides of this issue, and I do agree that there's something to the idea of, well, wait a minute, so many people have left Derrick James. Now, maybe they didn't leave him necessarily because he's an asshole. Maybe it's just they find him ineffective, right? Because, I mean, look at Frank Martin, look at Errol Spence, look at Charlo, how they ended up.
No, but when they lose, this is what boxers do. When they lose,
yeah.
they don't want to blame themselves. They want to blame the trainer, so they move on to another trainer. Remember De La Hoya? He did that like...
Yeah, Amir Khan is another dude. Yeah, these guys, they're training group. Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins fired like his trainer, I guess some 80-year-old man, after like 30 years of dedication, just kicking him to the curb, didn't want to pay him. I think, who was it that was it Floyd or somebody? Was it De La Hoya that, Floyd tried to cap the trainer at $1 million? Like, they're supposed to get 10%, but as they make a certain amount, they want to cap the trainer. Like, nah, I'm not giving you $1 million. Just like you get 250,000.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah,
with Triple G and Abel Sanchez too?
Probably.
I think. That's what he said.
It was something about how he was going. So I forget. It was either a set amount or then Abel. I think once he saw Triple G was making more, he's like, well, maybe now I want a percentage because that way something like that happened. I forget. Again, I'm not on the inside of this conversation, this issue, obviously between Derrick James and Charlo. So I still don't know who I'd pick. Although you guys are making some good arguments on both sides, I will say this though, like Frank was saying. That whole concept of bringing an entourage to your training camp. Some people, I don't know, some fighters, apparently they feel they need that. They need a cheerleader section of a bunch of grown men. Like, oh yeah, baby, that's right. Ooh, clapping, hooting and hollering. It's like, man, you're supposed to be in a quiet environment. You know what? I actually, my 2 rules for a gym are, when I'm looking for a gym, and I got a gym, so don't worry about it, I'm set, but I don't want no air conditioning, and I don't want any music. I don't want that. I don't
grit and grime. Huh? You want it to stink.
I want it to smell. Yeah, I want it to stink. I want it to be humid. Here in Quebec, it's very humid. I don't want to go in there with the AC on and they got that Britney Spears music.
You don't want some Britney Spears in the background?
Exactly. They got NSYNC in the background. I was like, no, man, I'm sorry, man. I don't need music to pump me up, by the way, either. Because when they turn the music off, then what do you do?
I think a historian wants to correct me. I think it was Ali that started that trend because he used to have hype men. And yes. I remember following Andre Ward. He literally hired a hype man. And this guy would just go around telling him, you the champ. If you ever listen, his ring walks, there's somebody yelling like, you the champ. Or somebody's press conference, you the man, champ. And he literally pays a guy to hype him. It's called a hype man.
It was a guy dressed like a pimp.
All this howling.
Yeah, that was he was with Devin Haney too.
That guy was
fighting Jorge Linares. He's like, you're gonna run into. He's like, Lord Haney's the best. You hear me, Jorge? You're messing with the best, the future, the past, everything. You know, it was crazy.
Yo, Sobers memorized it. I think he wrote it for the guy. No, but yeah, that dude was always dressed like a pimp, and even backstage afterwards, after the fight, Haney was saying like him, like, "Hey, nah, man, it's nothing personal. It's just, it's just business, my man. Don't take it personal." And then Linares like, "Yeah, don't take it personal. Don't worry about it." But that guy, they ended up kicking him to the curb. The Haney.
How's my power? How's my power?
Yeah, how's my power? Yeah, but I think they ended up kicking that guy. They ended up kicking that guy to the curb. That pimp guy. And the guy that Frank was talking about, Ali, that was Budini Brown. I forget exactly what his name was. He was just some guy that
Who was he, though?
He was just some guy that was in the Merchant Marines for a while. Then he just met Ali, and Ali's like, yeah, I like you. I'm going to keep you around because, I like how you scream.
It was his version of Gonzalo. Yeah, I just get him, keep him drunk, and he just started entertaining me.
You cut off there. What'd you say?
So it was his version of Gonzalo.
What do you mean?
Like, I just keep him drunk, and he's just around, he's being crazy and stuff.
Sobers hasn't got stopped with Gonzalo, man. He's always, I don't know, did Gonzalo do something to you or something? What happened?
No, he's good. We're good.
Is he back, by the way?
He's around. but I want to say he's back. And
No, 'cause I've seen-
I told him he has clemency. Yeah, we're good.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get in touch with him because I mean, eventually, yeah. Because I've seen him in the chat. I saw him on the chat on Friday, but I was asking specifically, has he jumped on your?
No. But he sent messages along the way that he's around or whatever. So.
Well, he knows he's boxing. He's just fucking crazy. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he knows it.
Yeah, we need
if
a
he's
certain.
listening, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was mad at him for a little bit, but he's been granted clemency.
But what I was gonna say too was, so yeah, do you really need a hype man? Going around there is like, yeah, I mean, I need somebody to pump me up. Why? Isn't being in a fight isn't being in a fight good enough? That feeling of when you're cracking your fist on the top of somebody's face, busting their bones. I mean, come on, they don't need a hype man for that.
I think they think it adds aura. You know what I'm saying? That's what Tyson said about Floyd, right? He said, yeah, man, see, this motherfucker, he ain't real. He needs bodyguards. He needs people around him to feel big. He said, I don't walk around with nobody. I never needed nobody to bodyguard me.
You gonna get beat up by...
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Because I opened this document that I think it's Sergeant. Shout out to Sergeant. He sent me. I think this is what Sobers was alluding to. Hold on, let me see if sorry, but go ahead, Frank. Yeah, finish what you were saying, please.
No, that was it. That they feel they need that as to have aura, like a fake aura.
Yeah, and that's a new word they use, right? Aura.
Yeah,
he's got
aura
great
farming.
Aura farming. Yeah, there you go.
You gonna get beat up by Lord Devin Haney, the king, the master, the best that ever did it, Jorge. Lord Devin Haney, the king, the overseer, the WBC boss, and Eddie Hearn understand me. It's Devin's turn. Use a chop.
Can you imagine you're a grown man? He has to be in his 60s, right? Late 50s, 60s. He's dressed like a clown, acting like a clown. And for a guy who's half his age, that is, I mean, I couldn't walk out the house after that.
Quite a hustle.
He's loving it. He's loving it too.
I mean,
all he needs is a boombox, right?
I just think it's so funny they call him Jorge. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because the first name thing, like they're friends or something.
You a bum. You slow. Yes, sir. Devin Haney for sure. He the king, the master, the overseer. Lord Devin Haney. Top choice Rolls Royce. Monkey.
And then he couldn't even stop the guy. The guy that everyone
monkey?
else.
Did he come on monkey?
Yeah, I think so, man. That's racist. The guy that got stopped by everybody before and after Haney. Haney couldn't stop him.
How's my power?
And by the way, how's my power? Is my power any good? Do I need some clarity to open up the pores?
No way.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Him and Haney going up with him afterwards and asking him backstage, "How's my power?"
It's in
and Jorge, like give that, give a little cringe smile, like it's good.
Yeah, he said, "No, it's good. You got good power. But he was just being nice.
Well, I think a little bit is sports psychology because they think that's gonna get in the other guy's head. Get him out of character. Mm-hmm. And I did hear a sports psychology, because that's a real thing, sports psychology, that it was Alex Rodriguez. He literally hired somebody he hired people to be around him, and you could never say anything negative around him. Like, everything had to be positive about him. Like, yeah, that was a great hit. He would never listen to any negativity.
But don't you need some? That's the thing, though. Don't you need some criticism? I mean, don't you need some? Because sometimes
Of course.
So that's why sometimes I don't know. There was a Ring article about that a long time ago about sports psychologists and whether they actually work. I know Jean Pascal here, a Quebec staple of boxing. He worked with a psychologist. I know Benavides works. Remember that in the build up to one of his recent fights? I think it was the Morel build up. They were talking about that on the 24/7, whatever they do, the preview show, and they talked about how he goes with a psychologist, and they're sitting there in a dark room, and the psychologist is all the way in the corner. Is like, "What do you think about your father?" And then then they start talking about it. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's interesting that Benavides feels like he needs a psychologist, even though he goes into the street and beats people up. And why would you need that? I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of torn on that idea of sports psychologists. Even then, it comes to light that I use a broadcast psychologist before we come on the air. Like, I don't know.
Did you talk about Benavides' wife?
Nah, no. I mean, I want to hear Benavides' version before we get into that, because then it's all.
What if they tell me I sound like I'm Russian?
Yeah, yeah. That's people say me and Bucha sound the same. We're the same person. Yeah. I gotta work on that.
Losing myself. I'm losing myself.
I'm losing myself. But hey, speaking of but Butch, I don't know if you want to say something about it, but I'm doing like the Dr. Phil thing where I want to hear both
I don't
sides.
have the tweet. Do you have the tweet?
No, I don't have it.
No, well, we can still talk about what she said.
Well, I don't have
the tea, man. Come on, we want the tea.
I sent you like that. Her Benavidez's mother said something about the whole thing, though.
Well, if you could just maybe resume the situation. I don't know if you want to do that, but I don't because I don't have the tweets here. I have one tweet that you posted but I don't know how reliable or factual it may
this
be.
is the mother.
Well, you want me to? I got the mother one that you said.
Yeah. Okay, I sent. Yeah.
Anyway, listen. I'll recap for people what happened. On Sunday while we were watching. I was getting ready for Mexico versus England. There's a tweet that comes out of, or some sort of Instagram post. Benavidez's girlfriend, significant other, partner, whatever they call it nowadays. She said something along the lines of, "Me and Benavidez, David, have postponed the wedding. Something about postponing the wedding, blah blah blah." And they said that she says that he's having issues, but it's not what you think, blah blah blah. So then people started, and my first reaction is, why is she airing out the dirty laundry? That's a big red flag when it comes to a woman. Then Benavidez, some people started saying, oh shit, it was over a prenup. It was over a prenup. She didn't want to sign a prenup. So then Benavidez via one of his social media accounts said, no, it wasn't because of a prenup. Now we've got allegations of, this is D-Block reposting this, but this is, I'm not going to read all this because I got other stuff to get to, but supposedly Benavidez's family members are saying that wasn't David Benavidez who posted that, saying, denying the fact that this whole trouble started because of a prenup. And they're saying that they're alleging, Benavidez's family members are alleging that the wife or future wife, whatever, she's got control of his social media accounts and that she's posting video. Other people said, well, look, it's no surprise that Benavidez, he likes to party. He's been caught drunk on the zone. Mm-hmm. He's been caught using Blancanieves, if you know what I mean. So it's no surprise that maybe he's hit some sort of wall or something and she's just putting... But I don't know. Again, I want to hear Benavidez from his own mouth and not via some Instagram post. I want to hear his version of everything. Then I might have a couple of comments to make.
Yeah, but there's two ways, right? Like, doesn't silence speak louder? Sometimes people say that silence speaks louder.
Don't worry.
Like, is it? But then it's also a situation. You not say anything is better.
You don't want to hold it all inside. You want to let it out.
Okay. I get what you're saying, Frank. So you're saying that it might be better for Benavidez not to say anything.
Right, but then the other perception is silence speaks louder. Like, you look guilty by not saying anything.
Silence is golden.
In today's saturated media era, where you have access to an audience just by tweeting something, it might seem that way, but I still maintain that the news cycle moves by so quickly that if you just shut your mouth for about 2 weeks, everything just goes away and people forget about it. That's my thing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what Benavidez should do. Maybe that I didn't think about it that way. Frank.
Remember that time you killed that prostitute?
More stuff like that. Listen,
that was
I don't know Benavidez personally. I don't know his wife personally.
I mean, I don't think it matters really, right? Unless it affects his fight. Who cares?
Well, it might affect him. Okay, the fact that Benavidez fell for that. I mean, apparently he met her while he was taking out money at the ATM, right?
Wow,
that's already a red flag. That's already a red flag, right? So he fell for the whole thing
a lot of money.
He fell for that to the point where he married her.
About to marry her.
About to marry her. Sorry, about to marry her.
So now, put some babies in her. So he's already married, pretty much.
Wow,
he has kids with her, right?
You're
he has
sexy.
kids with her. He went all the way. Now there's gonna be a potential breakup. So how is that gonna affect him mentally? Now, mentally speaking, how strong is he? Because you don't fall for that shit, right? You shouldn't be falling for that shit. So he fell for it. I'm gonna start questioning his mental strength. And now, if there's a divorce or a separation, whatever you want to call it, I don't know how he's gonna handle it. I really don't.
Yep.
I mean, look at Teofimo Lopez, man.
Completely crazy.
Look at Teofimo Lopez. That coochie ruined him.
Mm-hmm.
She was a MILF too, or she was a cougar, right?
Great
she
example.
was older than him.
Good example.
I think this woman that is involved with Benavidez is also older than him. She definitely looks older than him in the neck.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
One thing I always heard is either
check that throat.
in the relationship.
That's rope.
As Babucho's saying, what does it mean for Benavidez? One thing I always took note of: you're either the hammer or the nail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Benavidez is the nail. You're saying? I mean the hammer. I mean he's
just saying, and that's what I was told in a relationship. You're either the hammer or the nail.
How about getting getting hammered during a boxing show and then when they interview you?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's getting hammered.
Exactly.
He's getting hammered more than one way, right?
Exactly. There you go.
He's done. Finished.
I'm still creeped out at what Fu said because Fu said something on Monday. Friday's show. Friday in the morning, Fu jumped in and we were just throwing out ideas, and then he threw out as only Fu can because he's on that Stewart's coffee that makes him think things nobody else thinks about. He said Conor Benn looks like a cat. And damn it, if he's not right, I can't stop. Every time I see Conor Benn's face now, he looks like a cat.
A cat?
Yes, a feline.
No, it does. Evil cat, actually.
Well, okay, maybe
He's
not.
like a block. He's like a Lego blockhead.
I was talking about the movie. You ever saw the movie Sleepwalkers?
The Jaguar people.
Yeah, he looks like that. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, let me find it. Well, there was one. Yeah, look at it. He definitely looks somewhat cattish.
He looks more like Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man with that blonde hair.
Simon Phoenix, you have been fined $555 for violating the what was it? Moral. I forget the whole thing. Okay, this is.
I never understood how the three seashells.
Oh yeah, that's somebody finally figured out how the three seashells were supposed to work. But I'm not gonna explain it here. It's too disgusting. But look at this. See that look at him. He looks like a cat with that blonde hair, the super tan skin. Look at that. Don't tell me he doesn't look somewhat feline in there.
I don't think so.
Fu, help me out here. Convince them.
Look, I'll show you. I'll send you a
TV
picture.
put this in. Show everybody
He does
he's leaving you hanging to dry to try to. He's not putting anything out that he told you, BDA.
No, yeah, exactly. Now he's throwing me under the bus. Like I never said that video.
He's like, actually, he doesn't look like a cat. I don't know what you're talking about.
He does look like a cat. I don't know what you guys are saying.
He's gaslighting, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Nice cat.
I never said that.
No, I think he's gonna go like. Actually, I think people who think he looks like a cat are actually crazy or something like that. You know, those people are fucking.
People who think people look like cats are gay.
Exactly, yeah. They take it up the ass.
I got a picture of Conor Benn after his. I got a picture of Conor Benn in there after his last fight. I mean, he looks very cat-like.
Let me put it up on the screen here. There we go. Look at that.
He just looks like a cat after a cat fight. You know.
Yeah, that's after the first Chris Eubank Jr. fight, I believe. He took his licks. Yeah, like a cat. Kind of like a cat licks itself. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He did.
Well, let me tell you something. This is very interesting here. That now all of a sudden
that looks more like with all that gum showing, with all that gum in that photo of that cat person. That looks more like Shakur Stevenson.
Nah,
I mean, they both look cat. We actually said that Shakur looks cat-like.
With all that gum showing.
No, I said
cat-like as well.
I said Shakur Stevenson looks. I said
he's got Rosy Perez teeth.
I said Shakur Stevenson looks like a rodent, like a chipmunk. That's what I said.
He look. This is the thing. He still has all his baby teeth.
Well,
he does.
Yeah,
you know, you're the little kid. You know, you have two sets of teeth. You have your little kid teeth.
Little teeth,
right?
Little
he
teeth.
never lost those teeth. That's why they look so weird and goofy and it's spaced out. You know, because they're like little baby teeth.
Right.
And he had to get them pulled and replaced with new ones, so he would get rid of that gap. You know, good for him.
With new little teeth.
Now, another thing I wanted to play here was the whatchamacallit. Okay, so this is the Cedric Agnew podcast. I've mentioned it before. I think it's the Cedric Agnew. Yeah, it is the Agnew podcast. They had Quinn Randall on. Quinn Randall, who gave Brian Norman Jr. a very tough fight. And I think he just gave Polanco a very good fight, too. Check out what he had to say. He said he sparred Errol Spence pre-accident and post-accident. And check out what he had to say.
That nigga don't ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Right, yeah, this right here.
Man, I turn this bitch out, boy. Let me listen.
All right, I don't know what they're saying there. I can't understand what's in, but let me fast forward here. And one of the things I noticed on the Agnew every time they repost things from the Agnew podcast on Twitter, they have to mute a lot, censor a lot, because they're saying the N word every other 2 seconds, and we don't go for that type of word around here.
No.
So, yeah,
we don't play like that.
There you go.
I sparred with Earl after the accident. There's a difference. But even before or after, I never thought he was going to beat Crawford.
Dolphin teeth.
Never thought he was going to beat it. So I was like, okay, when they offered me to come to camp, I was like, okay, cool. Let me see if this dude, let me see. My opinion can change now. Let me get in the ring with him. I ain't sparred him in a couple years. Let me see how he is now. It was way worse than the first time. I was like, oh, shit. And me and Derrick was like, man, it's going to be bad. And I was like, yeah. I said, but I'm going to try to help him as much as I can. Give him his, but I don't think he's going to listen to me.
So you felt that in camp, though, right?
Yeah, I felt that the first day we sparred.
Like it wasn't.
The first day we sparred, I was like, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be better than I thought. And so, and I was still like, man, I'm sparring him. We in the ring, we sparring. I'm like, Earl, bro, you got to keep your head off the middle, bro. You can't do that in the ring with Crawford. And he was like, yeah, I know, bro, my injuries. I got my ribbon. And I was like, okay, cool.
Damn, he told you that?
What?
He told you his real stuff?
He told me after sparring, yeah, because I was telling him, like, bro, you can't spar. I said, you can't do that in the fight, bro. I was telling him, you can't. I was like, bro, that shit gonna cost you. Like, you can't do that with this Crawford. He was like, yeah, bro, I know.
Sergeant in the chat goes, it's gonna be bad, my boy. It's gonna be bad. So there you go. If people couldn't understand what he was saying, maybe the volume's too low or something. But Quentin Randall said that he sparred Errol Spence pre-fight, and he said, based off of this, I don't think you can beat Crawford. And then post-accident, it was even worse, even to the point where Derrick James and Quentin Randall were discussing how bad it was gonna be. So this just vindicates Dr. 805 more and more. Because Dr. 805, a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, a doctor can't diagnose somebody from afar and blah, 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 which is true. Technically, you're not supposed to say, oh, I diagnosed this guy with this looking from afar. But he was just giving his opinion based off observations that he looked like he possibly could have been compromised based off the accent.
He wasn't diagnosing him, right? He wasn't trying to prescribe him any medicine or whatever,
exactly.
But he was just making observations and just comparing them to cases that he's dealt with personally, or
exactly.
Symptoms that he's seen with these issues that people can develop, right? With he most definitely could have got a lot of trauma to his brain. He's a boxer, got projectile vomited out of a car.
Projectile vomit, but yeah.
No, just if you're Quentin Randall, don't you go bet the house? I'd be like, holy shit.
Who says he didn't?
I'd call my brother.
Yeah, who said he didn't, bro?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking when I hear these stories, I'm thinking, damn, if I were him, I would win.
They probably do capitalize on it, bro. This shit's
there's no. I mean, he's wearing this. I can't show you the video because for some reason it won't play on another browser.
He probably told him, I bet the house on you too, champ.
but what I'm saying is the whatchamacallit, I can't show you the video on this browser, but if you look at that Cedric Agnew podcast, Quentin Randall's wearing some very nice looking, pristine white sneakers. And I'm thinking, where'd that money come from there, Quentin? You can't be making that much money. And then I'm pretty sure if we start going through his Instagram page, all of a sudden you're going to see a new Benz, a Bentley, or whatever type of cars he's getting. You're going to go, where did that money come from? So I wouldn't be surprised. Like you said, Frank, you're thinking like somebody else would think, not necessarily saying you would do it. But I'm saying, look, I'm pretty sure there's people out there who would pull the trigger on that. Maybe even tell a couple of friends, like, hey, this you bet the house. Yeah, and I think some people did that. Now, again, to Dr. 805's point, a lot of the stuff he was saying turned out to be true. And then on top of that, people, because Errol Spence really kept it under wraps. He didn't want to take credit away from Terence Crawford. And then finally, later on, I think it was in 2025, he finally admitted, I wasn't living the perfect lifestyle for that fight. Even Terence Crawford, and I posted that on the build-up to the... it's not up anymore, but I got the tweet and everything where Terence Crawford in the build-up to the Spence fight said they remember that there was that one day where they went back and forth on Twitter and it was like they replied to each other 20, 30 times, something crazy like that. Terence Crawford at one point told Errol Spence, you better, I know what you be doing. You know what you're doing and you better stop that shit, he said. I wonder what he was referring to. The whole, you want to go to Dubai, baby thing? I mean, how do you think the car accident happened in the first place? The guy was probably hammered out of his mind. So, yeah, and people, again, I gotta put out the disclaimer because immediately people go, oh, you just want to discredit Crawford. Crawford seemed to know it himself. It's not Crawford's fault that he thought that Errol Spence ruined his own career. But it is interesting. If we're talking about what version did he fight, you can't really go out there. If you're an honest person, you can't really...
He could have made that fight. He could have made that fight before that accident, BDA, right?
I don't know about that. But what I'm saying...
I'm saying Errol Spence.
Yeah. And then again, it's look, I'm not saying that it's Crawford's fault that Spence, like I said, ruined his career. But we're analyzing we're asking the question whether that was the best version of Spence. And I guess we'll never really know because they didn't fight pre-accident and then post-accident. So, but it is what it is. The dude was thrown out of a moving vehicle, and the argument that people made was, "Oh, but he was fine after he didn't have any injuries after the car accident." I'm thinking, look, because they would say all he had was a couple of scratched teeth. I'm thinking, okay, but what about the brain? What I mean, most injuries in boxing, people are now starting to realize is not from necessarily the fights themselves or the big knockouts.
Him not bleed though, him good. All right.
Exactly, and most of the damage taken that gets accumulates throughout a boxer's career, a lot of that can come from sparring. A lot of these guys, they wear the headgear, they wear the 16-ounce gloves, and they feel safe, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm safe." Nah, motherfucker, if you're just putting the earmuffs up, your brain is still getting rattled. I mean, the research on brain injuries is starting to become more and more advanced. It's starting to bear more fruit, and they're starting to realize that shaking the brain up over and over and over is not good for the brain.
Blunt force trauma, bad.
And surprisingly,
he's not living a Spartan lifestyle.
Exactly.
I don't know why people think these guys live boxing 24/7. Like we just talk about it, but they're not living boxing lifestyles.
Exactly.
A lot of them are. No.
Well, a lot of these guys too. They seem to. I still remember that guy, that kickboxer, Rufus something. He was on Joe Rogan. He says, it's hard to drill this into a 20-something-year-old's head, especially if he's got, he's a fighter. And fighters have a different type of mentality where they don't exactly think ahead and all that. But he says he would always try to drill it into his young fighters. Like, look, really put in the work these 20 years that you've got, because when you retire. First of all, you only have so many years in your prime, so make the most of them. And then by the time you retire, if you played your cards right, you're going to be relatively young at 40 years old or 38, 39, 39, whatever. You're going to have money. Your legacy is going to be secure. Now you can still have fun. But for these next 10, 15 years as a professional, you got to be a professional. And again, it's easier said than done because you see what happens. That's why a lot of people, Salvador Sanchez, man, he died at 20. How old was he? 23. How much more could he have done? Who knows? Maybe he couldn't have done much more. Maybe, we didn't live to see him, like William Detloff said, we didn't get to see him get in trouble with a woman, kind of like Benavides allegedly is now. We didn't get to see if he had some alcoholism issues. We didn't get to see if he maybe just got tired of boxing and started laxing on his training. I mean, these are things that happen throughout a fighter's career. And again, it takes a special type of mind to become a professional boxer. And I'm saying crazy people. It takes a certain amount of craziness.
So you got a lot of self-discipline. You got to say no to the poontang. You got to say no to alcohol, the hanger-ons.
You gotta be a eunuch. That's what you gotta be.
Oh, geez, Luis, come on.
Nah, I mean that way you avoid being aroused.
Snackford in the chat says the dude was thrown from a vehicle 100 miles per hour. He had a retinal detachment and later cataracts and no teeth. And Bud Glazer still swear that was a prime Errol, and anybody mentioning it is hating. I don't think anybody can really deny it anymore, man. That wasn't the best Errol Spence. You can argue that Crawford could have beaten him prime for prime, and I would lean more towards. Excuse me.
I think Prime Spence would have beat him.
Okay, but you see, but that's what I'm saying is you can make the argument if you wanted to. Okay, whatever. But what I'm saying is, what's being argued here is the fact that Errol Spence at that point in 2023 that was
washed.
It's man. Well, I don't know how washed he was. All I'm saying is he wasn't the same. Okay, but all I'm saying is he wasn't the same guy from 2019.
No, he was not.
I don't think Prime Spence would have beat him, but he wouldn't have got beaten up like that. He would have probably
Prime Spence was very durable. He's known for his durability.
That's what I said.
He would beat on guys.
I said he wouldn't get stopped. He would win some rounds, but lose majority of the rounds and probably go to decision. I think Terrence would have still pulled that W off.
Man, Crawford is washed on Porter's punching bag. I mean, the guy ain't the best thing in the world. He never was. That's why he cherry-picked his whole career. Like, look, watch when Tim Tszyu lays this guy on one round. How they say, well, Crawford softened him up. It's like, dude, he's fighting.
I mean, he's been out. Hold on. Fool. But, I mean, Spence has been out for 3 years.
Yeah, but he was out for like 2. And he had some like little tune-ups before he fought Crawford. And he said in 2019 that he was going to retire then. So this guy got him in what?
Maybe it's a good
20
idea,
what?
but-
So wait. So if Team Zoo knocks him out in like pretty quickly, you're gonna be
I'll give him more
giving
respect.
Zoo credit.
I'll give more respect because he's fighting a guy that's fully hydrated. This guy fought a guy straight off a car accident who had to dehydrate himself to fight him. Tim Zoo's fighting him at the weight that Spence actually wanted to fight Crawford at. He didn't want to fight him at welterweight. He wanted him at 154.
So Team Zoo beating Spence is a bigger win than Crawford beating Spence.
I mean, he's still
You're
washed.
right.
He's still a washed fighter, but he's not. He's more durable at that weight, right? You could see him. Like, look at him right now. He's big. He looks much bigger and stronger and healthier.
Look,
When
this
he-
is all,
when he fought Crawford, he was like slurring even more than usual.
This is all up in here. We don't know what kind of Spence was going to come up, but based on styles, I think his style is not good for Tim Zoo. But it doesn't matter if his chin ain't going to hold up. You know, that wouldn't matter. If his chin ain't going to hold up, if his conditioning ain't going to hold up, it wouldn't fucking matter at that point because Tim Zoo is more active than he is. But if it does, if anywhere it does, and Errol is a dog. He is a guy that likes to fight even when the shit is not working in his favor. It would be bad for Tim Zoo. I'm just letting you know. If you fight and he's actually got pop,
I'm more talking about durability. If he goes in there and Tim Zoo lays him out or beats him in one round, then that just shows you what Terrence Crawford fought. He fought a shell of a fighter.
Yeah, but fool, people are gonna say that Spence has been out for 3 years. You can't
I
deny
know, but
right?
that's
so
I'm not
the ones
denying that.
I
But
mean,
I'm talking about his durability. You know, his durability, his ability to take punches.
Yeah, but they're gonna
if he
say
goes in and he
because
eats
his
one Tim Zoo
durability
shot and
went
he's rocked.
down. They're gonna say he's not the same because it's been 3 years. They're gonna say
But just because it's
Crawford
3 years
destroyed
doesn't
the
mean you
guy.
can't. I know they're going to say that, but I mean, I think, look, the guy hit him with half a jab and he fell over. I'm just saying the guy was not the same. It's obvious he was a mess. So when this guy beats him in 2 seconds, they'll downplay his win, but they won't downplay Crawford's.
Yeah, I know
he
what
was
you mean,
pretty
but
dehydrated. For the Terrence Crawford fight, he was pretty dehydrated. Let's just be honest.
He was good. He's dehydrated and brain damage from the car accident.
Yeah, you could say brain damage as well, but I think that dehydration was a little too much for him. I think it was about time for that dumbass to be up on 154, but he still kept being a belt hugger at 147. He had to get up at one point in time, but he was holding on to those belts. And
they both should have moved up to 154, but Spence was leading a bad lifestyle. Meanwhile, Crawford was being disciplined, and on top of that, he was on snack. So that snack, man, it really helps you out, man.
Did you see Crawford shadow play fighting with fucking Tim Bradley? Sorry.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
I should have bleeped that. You saw how Bradley looked next to him? He looked like a little tiny kid next to that guy.
Career.
He's a welterweight.
He's a welterweight. Yeah, that makes no sense. But I wanted to say that real quick here. I want to say this about the Mason fight, the zone. Okay, so on top of the zone charging, because there's no ultimate package available here in Canada. So but it's still 250 clams that we gotta pay per 4 year, all right, here in Canada. So you would expect, don't put useless fights on pay-per-view like Teofimo Lopez versus Romero. That shouldn't be pay-per-view. Neither should Tim Zoo versus Spence. But we eat it for the moment because we're boxing fans and we're used to trying to get these people try dicking us around. But again, we're not gonna take it anymore. But fine. This Mason card it was for free. They've got some weird filter on where the contrast is all the way down, so it looks that the dark colors are darker, and you could barely see certain things in certain replays. Then on top of that, throughout the broadcast, they never fixed it. There was some sort of distortion that would filter in, and then it would filter out slowly. And some people could say, "Oh, BDA, you're nitpicking." I'm sorry. If I'm watching, it's already a pain in the ass to listen to some of these commentators. Now we got to hear the distortion, which in a way does make it sound better because I don't have to listen to them for a little bit. But then that's the thing that makes it all that worse. It gives you hope that it's going to drown out the commentators. And then, whoops, at the last minute, you get to hear their opinions all over again. This is what it looked like, by the way. It's like, and we've got Abdullah Mason landing a punch, and all of a sudden, he's trying, and then he would come back normal. And I'm not kidding. That the voice constantly would be changing like this, and you would just hear distortion. They never fixed it. Did they just say, we don't give it? Is that what they're doing at the zone? They're on the I don't give a shit mode anymore? They don't want to fix these little mistakes. It was
It was terrible. I heard it. What was that about? That was fucking terrible.
I like
the
listening
budget.
to songs like that. You know, songs with that kind of techno shit.
But it makes me,
like
it makes you wonder if they're not willing to fix little mistakes like that. What else are they slacking on? Because they're already slacking on the product itself. Remember when they announced that Top Rank was finally coming on board the zone? How many of us were like, "Oh, they got Top Rank, they got Matchroom, they got Golden Boy, they got Queensberry." Look at the products they're putting out now. Aitama versus Hrgovic is pay-per-view too, and then the sound doesn't even it doesn't even sound well.
No fucking way, man. So what is a pay-per-view?
No, Aitama,
Mason versus
Aitama
Bell, Bucho.
Aitama versus Philip is close enough to pay-per-view.
It's not a pay-per-view fight. No, it's not a pay-per-view fight. Don't do this, Gypsy. You're encouraging this type of bullshit. So
I know.
If Aitama versus Hrgovic is a pay-per-view fight, then what is not a pay-per-view fight? You know what? So what do you get? So if you have the normal, that's on subscription, what do you get? What do you get?
Scraps.
Because you're not getting fucking Aitama against Hrgovic. As if it's a championship fucking fight.
Whatever.
Yeah, nothing.
I guess whatever the Zuffa fights are gonna be with the Australian guy. What's his name? The Australian dude. What's his name?
That is on. That's not on the zone. That's on.
That's not okay.
What's it called?
Which fight is he referring to? The Australian guy. I don't know what he's talking about.
Paramount. That's on Paramount.
The cruiserweight.
Opetaya.
Opetaya, yeah. I mean, Opetaya fighting anybody is not really unless it's Benavidez or something of that kind of nature. Then it's really.
Well, listen.
In the chat, King KO for Life says nobody buys pay-per-views anymore. They are wasting money and time. See, this is what. If these people are fucking doing their fucking research, they're gonna see that nobody wants to buy these nonsensical fucking so-called pay-per-views. Nobody. Like, you're stupid if you think that people are gonna buy. You're stupid if a boxing fan thinks or believes that Aitama versus Hrgovic is a pay-per-view fight. That's not a pay-per-view fight. On HBO, that would be a championship fight. Maybe a boxing after dark type of fight. It would not be a HBO pay-per-view fight. You guys are fucking stupid. You need to wake the fuck up.
Look, Pucha, is Moses? How big is Moses' name, man? I mean, he's probably what
He's
it
big.
is.
He's not a pay-per-view star. He should be. Man, what, are you fucking kidding me? He's not a pay-per-view star. He's not. You go to the United States and you go like, who's Aitama? People, Aitama. I'm gonna pay for. Nobody knows who he is yet. Only us boxing fans know who he is, and people in the UK. That doesn't mean he should be a pay-per-view star. That does not mean he should be a pay-per-view star.
I get it. But I'm saying maybe this fight is where his cherry gets popped. You know what I mean?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he just fucks him up in 2 rounds. Then what are you gonna be saying? Oh yeah, I'm happy I paid fucking $75 for this shit.
Well, I mean, look, I'll say why are these so many fights now on pay-per-view on the zone? It's got to be economics. I mean, everything there's inflation going on with these products, and you see it when you go to the grocery store. Everything's getting smaller, prices going up. So you have to assume it's going to apply to entertainment as well. But it's also these exorbitant purses that some of these fighters expect. And look, Aitama is starting to become big over in the UK, and he's an entertaining guy because he knocks people out. But again, Filip Hrgovic is a top 10 guy, but he's not a star either. So you got two guys that aren't superstars, and they're expecting people here on the other side of the Atlantic to pay for that. Like that's the comment that I wanted to read, Bucho, the King KO. He says nobody buys pay-per-view anymore. They're wasting money and time. That's essentially what the zone is doing now. They're overpaying some of these dudes. People are pirating these fights, and the zone is just digging themselves a deeper hole. And that's the other thing is when people go, man, you got to buy these fights, man. Otherwise, you're being cheap. And I'm thinking, well, you can't make that argument anymore because the NFL, for example, I understand that for a while, little by little, they started divvying up the different teams so that you had to get satellite or cable, the NFL package to watch all the games if you wanted to. But for the most part, if you lived in a specific place, you could still watch the game, your team, for free. Super Bowl. It's for free, right? Still, it's not on you don't have to pay for it or anything, right? It's not pay-per-view. Somebody just
I think so.
That's on terrestrial TV.
Okay, it's on terrestrial. So you don't have to pay. Imagine if NFL, every other game was pay-per-view. How long do you think that would last? how long do you think it would start becoming less popular? Because that's what happened with boxing. It's not that people just lost interest in boxing because, we don't like boxing. It's because it went away to premium cable and then pay-per-view. And little by little, people just started forgetting about it. And they started focusing on other stuff that was free. That's the problem with boxing.
They can't follow boxing. They don't follow. They stop following boxing. They stop following boxing. They don't know who the champions are. They don't even know who the heavyweight champion is. Why would they be interested in that shit?
Exactly.
Is this the first pay-per-view for Moses? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I think that Jermell.
Bro.
No, I think that somebody said that. I think the Dylan White one was pay-per-view too.
No way.
I think that's what somebody said. I forget.
Dylan got a name, man, for the casuals. You know, he got a name, so they had to sell it somehow. Dylan has a name. It's not like you don't.
Well,
Moses is coming up. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense.
It's going to be difficult for the sport to continue thriving if some of these guys keep getting paid as if they're stars and they're not, and stuff keeps getting put on pay-per-view. However, if you got a certain amount of moxie in you, if you like to entertain, if you're an action fighter who can punch and is not fighting in the ass style, in other words, you know what I'm getting at. If you got that dog, that's when things can get very interesting, and hopefully some fighters keep what's the word I'm looking for here? Keep that sentiment alive, because there's too many guys that want to bore people. That's how we went down that rabbit hole earlier. Too many people want to be back foot bitches and fight in the ass style, and then and by the way, give me $5 million for that. I mean, the Schofields were demanding that much money. But in other words, what I'm saying is you need to have, like I said, that dog. You know, I always avoid using that term, but now we got to use it because we actually have dogs. Look at this. This is amazing.
Switched on. Jab, you switched on. When you throw the combination jab, slip, uppercut, backhand, roll. This is you, bouncing. All wasted movement. Jab, slip, uppercut, right hand, roll, and then what? Then we're still here. Boom, boom, boom. Still here.
Literally, we got the dog now.
That's creepy.
This show's got the dog. What do you mean creepy? Why?
It's just, I don't know. There's something creepy about it.
That sounds like VDA's coach.
Like a horror movie.
Like a horror movie. Yeah, now that you mention it, these AI videos are starting to get eerie. And by the way, I'll have to do a second renaissance on this because I've talked about it before about the lore of AI demons that's been popping up ever since people have had access now to image generating AI and audio generating AI. And now recently there was another story that came out of a potential AI spirit / demon, whatever, making the round. So we're going to have to get into it.
Yeah, but don't you think humans just end up fucking everything up? Like the internet, when the internet thing was first, people just used it to look at porn. Like, we think it's going to be used for great humanitarian purposes, and it just ends up being used for slop. You know?
I mean, that is great humanitarian purposes.
To drain the pipes.
No, there's a certain
Please, let me join your...
There's a certain degree of truth to what Frankie's saying, that you got all the, videotapes. That's pornography started becoming big on that. Even before on film, they started using that for pornography. People would go to the theaters, like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, and they would, they would sit there amongst other perverts. They would do their business, maybe help each other out if they were so inclined, and then they would just leave and go back. That's technology right there. Film reels. That was used for pornography. Then videotapes. Then the DVDs.
Were you present for?
I knew somebody was going to bring that up. No.
The biggest mogul, Mark Zuckerberg, that with his technological breakthroughs, it was just to hook up with chicks.
Is that right?
That's what he was trying to do. Yeah.
Well, a lot of these guys
all
are
it was
nerds.
for.
Yeah, a lot of these guys. Yeah, well, a lot of these guys are nerds. They never got any. So by the time they make money, it's like, oh, time to party. Bill Gates was like that, by the way, with a little somebody known as Palm Beach Pete, aka Jeffrey. Anyway, listen, we said it all. We've been here for close to 3 hours. Gotta go rest up. I'm telling you, the excitement from that fucking penalty shootout between Colombia and Switzerland, it left me all drained. I can't believe we managed to come on and do this show.
Don't even say that shit was a boring ass game. I was watching it half-assed, but it was
I didn't say the excitement, Gypsy. Come on, I didn't say the excitement of the game. I said the excitement of the penalty shootouts. The penalty shootouts.
Yeah, I didn't miss the penalty shootout. I actually watched the penalty shootout. Yeah, That was
I did jump on sobers for a little bit, and I heard you and Furioso going at it. I guess you were debating Messi or something. I didn't even know what was going on there.
Yeah, the guy we were talking about who's the GOAT, and we all know the GOAT is in this era. There's only 157 guy that just fucking produces like
he's being
crazy.
protected. But,
The only goal I recognize is Pele Pele.
But yeah, because hey, I know you like the Afro type. I get it, but
That's
there's
right.
only one. There's only one. There's only one. I'm telling you, bro.
Listen,
Copa
he was
Americas,
17. He
There's
at the
only
age
one.
of 17, he won a World Cup. What do you got to say
Well,
about
this
that?
is what I told. This is what I told you. I refused to let me talk. Messi was great at 17, phenomenal at 17. But when you're playing for Argentinians, when they have their stars, like at the time they had they had Requel, I can't say his name properly.
Riquelme.
Yeah,
All right, Jibs, you don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna go. By the way, Rapax Trucking Company with a membership renewal. He says Therian. What the hell is that?
Therein, or is he saying therein like therein lies, or is he saying Therian? I don't know what that means.
I have no idea.
I think he means Aryan because Argentina and Aryan.
I'm so. Oh, okay. Therian subculture. Therians, also known as Therianthropes, are individuals who identify as one or more non-human animals, partially or entirely on a personal level. So they're not exactly furries, I guess, but they're a different type of breed, I suppose.
What does that mean? God damn, that's horrible.
Sobers, aren't you supposed to be up on all that stuff? Sobers, you should have known that one.
On what?
Because Rapax Trucking Company said Therian after we played that video of the dog boxing. And I just looked it up. Apparently they're like...
Oh, yeah. Like, is that anthropomorphic or something?
Yeah, they're like furries, I guess. That's what I just saw there on the Google.
Was that little people? Because I couldn't see the...
No. What? Midget? Let's talk about midget. No. No. And by the way...
I didn't look it up. I just want to hear you guys out.
Those Argentinos got nothing on us, mulattoes with Portuguese last names.
Oh,
they got nothing.
Yeah.
Look, man. Look, they're all great. When Ronaldinho is such a great soccer player, I still love the guy. Mr. looks like donkey face, but I don't want to. I will never say that. I will never embarrass him like that. But the thing is, though, if he says he's Brazilian, and he was at one point he was the greatest. For at the era, he says that Messi is the greatest shit that he's ever seen at his time. That means better than Pele.
He's a sellout. We don't count that.
Oh, come on, homie! You can't sit there and say that nonsense, bro. He's the greatest shit, bro. I'm sorry. And I looked at the foul that the Egyptians were talking about. That shit was he didn't even touch him. He fucking took a dive and he wanted that. I know
bullshit. You know what? Bullshit. I agree with that Egyptian coach. There was some corruption going on there.
All I'll say is this, man. All I'll say is this. All I'll say is this. I'm biased. I realize I'm biased because I'm Mexican. But look, there were so many fake news things going on Twitter before the England-Mexico game. Oh, watch out for Mexico. There's cartel members chopping people's heads or whatever. And then a bunch of after England beat Mexico, there's a bunch of videos of Brits walking down the streets and people, Mexicans congratulating them, singing together, partying, and they're saying, a bunch of Brits saying, oh, I can't wait to come back to Mexico. Conversely, you see Argentinian fans mocking... Excuse me?
Just propaganda. They want to make, they want to make it out to you're English, be careful in Mexico if you win. They might kill you. It's all bullshit.
I saw some people trying to make it like a white versus Mexican thing. Like, oh, wow, watch out. In Mexico, they kill whites. Like, what? Like, I think people...
Cartel members?
It's a fear tactic, man. They're trying to get in the heads of the fucking players and shit.
Cartel members are too busy killing over money. They don't kill people over a fucking game.
Each other.
They don't care about your broke ass fucking tourist you know what I mean? Like, they don't care about these guys. Now, what are they gonna get out of that shit?
A couple of $1,000. Yeah.
Like, oh, do you have any money? Well, all I have is debt. I pay. My whole trip is on credit. Like, they're gonna get a shit out of these people.
These fucking drug dealers that have money stuck in their walls, they're gonna go shake down the tourists for a couple $100.
$1 billion industry. It's $1 billion industry, man. Come on.
It doesn't benefit them because if you do that kind of shit, you're gonna have less people coming to Mexico. Why would you do that kind of shit, bro? Like, you want more people, more tourists, more money
I mean,
for them.
these people own hotels. These people own hotels.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Like, why would
they
you?
live off
Why would you
tourist
fucking do
industry.
that?
Well, listen, I
That
gotta
make no
go read
sense.
up. I gotta go read up more on what Therian subculture is. Maybe even see if there's a club nearby here in Montreal. But anyway, the point is this: we gotta go. Shout out to all of you guys for joining us. Shout out to the Real Food TV. There's only one, the Real Food TV. Shout out to Recognize.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for jumping on. Shout out to Recognize the Matrix 2 for jumping in. Gypsy. There's only one Gypsy as well. There's Gypsy Boxing, and he maintains Messi is the GOAT. So I guess that's for another show. Frank Bay. That's Frank Bay Boxing Talk. Shout out to Frank. Frankie. Shout out to Sobers. Never Sobers. Face without eye. Well, actually, that's the channel is Never Sobers with a Z at the end. Hey, by the way, excuse me, Sobers. I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
No, I just said Never Sobers with a Z, yeah.
There you go. Never Sobers. They hold fights at a taqueria every Saturday. And I wanted to ask you, is there UFC this Saturday? Is there a big event or?
This weekend, tune in. The Boxing Taqueria will be doing MMA. Conor McGregor, the two-time weight champion of the UFC, will be fighting Max Holloway, the Hawaiian
What the fuck?
the flying
What? For
Hawaiian.
real? No.
It's going down Saturday.
Sounds like a monster truck rally.
Wait. Is McGregor? Is McGregor?
Solid. You got it. Let him cook. Finish. Let him cook, man. It was awesome.
Meadowlands Arena. Yeah, he's fighting this weekend.
If you're not there, you are a homosexual. So what are you there for?
Be square.
You're a homo.
Solid.
That's extra talent. That's extra talent right there from Sobers, man. I didn't know he could announce.
Yes.
I didn't. Now we got Fu.
Mamma mia.
Yeah, we got Fu and Sobers who can do the. Hey, watch out next Saturday. That they can do the voice, man. Wow.
Watch out, guys. This is brought to you by Netflix.
Gee, hey, that sounds like one of those. That sounds like one of those ranchero meetups they do. Like tan, 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 they get the band, the music. They always have.
It sounds like the Spanish radio stations.
Exactly.
In between songs.
I think we're scaring people. All right, I'm gonna go to the taqueria right now.
But hold on, real quick. So Conor McGregor is fighting this Saturday.
He's fighting. He's having a rematch with Max Holloway.
Is that the guy that he broke his leg against, or?
No, that was Dustin Poirier. Max Holloway, like I said, he's Hawaiian, and they fought before when they were both kind of on the come up.
Mm-hmm.
And McGregor beat the dog shit out of him. He beat the brakes off him. Talking about punching him, he's flying across the ring. His legs are giving out. You know, like when they get punched and their legs go like outward. You know, they fall flat on their ass. That's what was happening. You know,
Interesting.
He was whooping his ass.
Well, that's very interesting.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see where McGregor's at now, and if Holloway surpassed him or not, or it's just a style thing. He just is always going to be better.
We'll see if the lifestyle. You know, we just spent about half an hour talking about Errol Spence's lifestyle. We'll see if Conor McGregor's alleged lifestyle, wild lifestyle, hasn't caught up with him as well. It might be over, man. The McGregor train might be over for good. We'll see this Saturday.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be over, man. He's gonna get knocked out by Max, man.
Because
he can't be out of
because the reality is there's not that much boxing going on. This again, we have Joyce and Gassiev fighting in separate bouts on the same card. They're not fighting each other anymore, as promised earlier, and that's all we got. That's from Russia, by the way. I think it's on the Zone. Let me just double check. And then late at night you can watch the MMA. By the way, I remember I watched that White House card live. Wasn't all that great. The main event was good. Everything else was kind of, as they say nowadays, May. Anyway.
By the way, the Argentina